subscribe, like the video, and, if possible, join Patreon. But if you don't have much money, you can support the channel by watching the novels on euroaudiobooks.com. Remember that you can participate in the polls so that your favorite novel gets published for free.
Synopsis: travel through fairy tale and awaken the 10,000 worlds Entrustment system. Yotsuya Miko. Mr. Byakuya, yyds. Nami. Bai Ye is my son. Mitsuri Kanroji. I really like Mr. Byakuya. Matou Sakura. From now on my name is Shirazakura. Bai Ye is a big monster. He will protect me from being killed by Ultraman. By Yuekui, Irena, Marusilu, Huiyuan AI, Misaka Mikoto Tail Erza, Mirajane, Juvia. Bai Ye. Take me with you next time. Fairy Tale. The Request of All Worlds. See you at the beginning. Chapter 001, Chapter 1 Fairy Tale and the 10,000 Worlds Request System. Fiori Kingdom. Magnolia. In the center of this city is a guild. Its name, Fairy Tale. The time is X783. There is still 1 year before the beginning of the plot. During this year, several new people joined Fairy Tale. One of the men is very special because he does not belong to this world. The man's name is Bai Ye, a traveler from the blue planet. Fairy Tale Guild. In a spacious guild hall, wizards gathered in groups of 2 or 3. Each of them talked and laughed. The atmosphere was warm and joyful. Bai Ye, another barrel. The boldly dressed black-haired drunkard girl drank a barrel of fine wine heroically and shouted drunkenly, "Good. You are Kana indeed. Still as generous as ever." I'm afraid that 30% of the guild's wine was consumed by Kana alone. The fairy tale wizards all clapped and cheered. Really? Kana has drunk enough today. Byakuya-kun. The gentle girl in a dark red and pink hem dress and silver long hair down to her waist cast a glance at the young waiter in a tuxedo beside her. "Okay, Miss Mira." Bai Ye smiled gently, mixed the cocktail with ease, and finally brought it to Kana. "This is just enough for everyone. Need a bucket, a big bucket." Kana complained while taking the glass and drinking it all. The next second, Kana fell on the table and began to sleep soundly. Ha ha! Grandma Palaka's medicine is still as effective as ever. Kana really doesn't learn any lessons. This has been the nth time. Has this become a daily program for our guild? Speaking of daily programs, Bai Ye, Miko, Wakaba, Marcus, and other fairy tale elders all laughed happily, and their eyes were all focused on Bai Ye. Bai Ye didn't care about the eyes of the crowd. After cleaning up the mess of Kana and greeting Mirajane, the boss of the sign girl, Bai Ye walked straight to the task entrustment point of the guild. There were task entrustment letters on the billboard. From finding lost pets to exorcising monsters. There are all kinds of commissions. Civilians who cannot use magic can ask the guild for commissions when they encounter problems. As long as the reward is attractive enough, there will be wizards to help solve the problem. This is the meaning of the existence of the wizard guild in this world. At this moment, before the arrival of the White Knight, someone had been standing in front of the task board for several hours. That was a man wearing a middle-aged man dressed like a primitive man, named Nobuzuro. The magic he uses is attachment, which allows animal spirits to attach to him, and then use the power of animal spirits to fight. Compared to magic, the biggest feature of Nobuzuro, who is a member of the Fairy Tale Atmosphere group, is that he likes to wander in front of the guild's commission board. He is always looking for the most suitable task for himself, often standing for a whole day, and finally not accepting any tasks. This performance art has almost become a landscape of the guild. Bai Ye, you are here. Let's work hard together. I hope we can all find suitable commissions. Seeing Bai Ye coming, Nobuzuro's face suddenly showed a look of mutual appreciation. In response to this, Bai Ye still just smiled gently and said nothing. It has been 3 months since he joined Fairy Tale. Bai Ye goes to the commission board every day, but so far, he has not accepted any task. That is why Nobuzuro thought he had found a soulmate. However, in fact, Bai Ye was not looking for a suitable commission. He was just checking and waiting, checking the loading progress of the system, waiting for the system to be fully opened. As a blue star traverser from the 21st century, like many fellow traversers, Bai Ye has awakened the system's golden finger. The system is called the 10,000 Worlds Commission System. You can take on commissions from all over the world. Completing the task can get rich rewards. However, to open the system, Bai Ye needs to join the official Wizard Guild and become a wizard. With the foresight of the Traverser, Bai Ye did not hesitate for even a second and chose Fairy Tail. The reason is that the atmosphere of the Fairy Tail Guild is really good. Coming here is like going home. Everyone in the guild is talented and speaks well. The most important thing is that you can get the aura of the protagonist group. When the BGM sounds, who can compete with you? Of course, want to join Fairy Tail. You also need to have the most basic wizard qualities. Before the system was opened, Bai Ye, a blue star traveler, was just an ordinary person with no qualifications. Fortunately, when he was bored before, he had learned Taoism for a period of time and could draw some talismans. With his eloquence, he finally joined Fairy Tail as an exorcist wizard. Because exorcism commissions are rare, in order to maintain a basic livelihood, Bai Ye had to become a worker. Partnered with the sign girl Senior Mira, he became the receptionist of the guild. However, this kind of life has finally come to an end today. The system startup progress bar on the task board that only Bai Ye can see has reached 99.9%. Finally, under Bai Ye's excited and expectant gaze, the last 0.1% of the loading is completed. The 10,000 Worlds Commission System, loading completed. Host, Bai Ye, age, 20, number of commissions completed, 0, ability, a newbie gift pack X1. Do you choose to open it? Yes, Bai Ye said silently without hesitation, accompanied by dazzling light flashing. The system's newbie gift pack is in place. Congratulations to the host for obtaining the full-level Tai Shang, Shifeng, Wu Lei Jing Guang, Huiyuan Zheng Qi, Golden Light Mantra, Maoshan Taoism Complete Solution, Peachwood Sword X1. There is no time to experience the power of the newbie gift pack. Bai Ye's sight was quickly attracted by the scene in the corner of the task board. A commission suddenly appeared in the corner of the task board that was originally empty. That was the commission of the 10,000 worlds that only Bai Ye could see. Task, Exorcism, Level, D-Level, Client, Yotsuya Miko, Post Views, 2163 Fairy Tail. The request of all worlds, see you at the beginning Chapter 002 Chapter 2. The Visible One is scared to death. Subway Axe Ghost. Seeking flowers and comments. My name is Yotsuya Miko. An ordinary high school girl. An ordinary girl who can see evil spirits. Since that day at the bus stop, scary things would appear around me from time to time. Or rather, those things are everywhere, but few people can see them. If they knew that I could see them, it would be a big problem. So I could only pretend that I couldn't see them, and even if I could, I would never show it. I tried my best to suppress the fear and screaming instinct in my heart, and never wavered no matter what happened in front of me. I looked as calm as an old dog on the surface, but I was panicking inside. In this way, I avoided the invasion of evil spirits again and again. Although there were some accidents along the way, thanks to the Fox Mountain God, I finally got out of danger. Such an ordinary person like me recently encountered another unusual thing. A voice suddenly appeared in my mind, asking me if I have any troubles in issuing commission tasks. As long as the commission is issued, there will be a professional to help solve it. Just kidding. Yes, of course. If possible, I want a master who can really exorcise ghosts. With a try-it mentality, Yotsuya Miko followed the instructions of the voice in her mind and issued the commission task. It has been a week since the commission was issued, and the so-called professional has never appeared. Miko can only regard it as her own fantasy and continue to ignore the threats of the evil spirits. A large shopping mall. Wait a minute, sister. Why are you in such a hurry to leave? At least you should change your clothes first. That's a birthday gift for Mom. I just want you to try it on. The young boy Yotsuya Kyusuk shouted. Stop talking, just go. Yotani Miko left without hesitation. In a clothing store not far behind her, two waiters were waving goodbye. One of them was covered with a deep black shadow. His head turned 180 degrees, and a creepy smile hung on his face. It was a waiter ghost. It was not until she boarded the subway with her brother to go home that Miko breathed a sigh of relief. Awesome. I lived another day. However, Miko didn't relax for long. Crack, a harsh friction sound rang out in the quiet subway. Miko subconsciously looked in the direction of the sound, and her light golden pupils shrank suddenly. It was an axe ghost holding a huge axe, carrying a sack, with bandages wrapped around his face, revealing bloody gums and a terrifying smile. Jinzi originally thought that he could safely get through the crisis by pretending not to see it and ignoring it all the way. Never thought. The evil ghost he met today did not play by the rules. It swung its giant axe violently, chopping on the head of the passenger in the front. The imagined scene of blood splattering and head exploding did not happen. No. The axe demon made a metallic friction sound and swung the axe at the second passenger. Then the third, the fourth, looking at the axe demon getting closer and closer. Jinzi felt her eyes tighten. The eyes did not cry, but the bottom cried. Liquid leakage occurred. At this moment, she wished she could just carry the subway and run away. Before she could make any move, the uncle sitting opposite received a call and immediately stood up to leave. Seeing this, the axe demon immediately turned his spearhead, took 2 steps forward, and swung 2 axes at the uncle. Looking at this scene, Jinzi did not dare to move at all, sat in his seat, waiting for the axe demon to come. Finally, the axe demon aimed his axe at the office worker woman next to Jinzi. Yayang, a shrill scream followed. When the axe was pulled out, a hideous evil spirit was also brought out. The axe demon was overjoyed and quickly grabbed the evil spirit and stuffed it into the sack. After doing all this, the axe demon's sight finally fell on Jinzi. The axe was raised high, and it was about to chop down. Just then, a clear sound of footsteps suddenly sounded in the carriage. All the awake people turned their heads subconsciously. At one end of the carriage, a young man in a tuxedo walked over. He held a black umbrella in his left hand and a suitcase in his right hand. His every move exuded the elegance of an English gentleman. Bai Ye strode forward, reciting the Taoist motto, "Heaven and earth mysterious sect, the root of all key. Practice 10,000 calamities, prove my supernatural power. Inside and outside the 3 realms, only Taoism reigns supreme. The body is covered with golden light." A faint golden light rose from Bai Ye's body. Bai Ye walked in front of the axe evil spirit and looked at it fearlessly. "You can see me." The axe evil spirit screamed and discovered this fact, and the expression on the bandage's face gradually became excited. It decisively gave up Jinzi and turned to swing the giant axe at Bai Ye mercilessly. The next second, something happened that shocked Jinzi even more. The terrifying axe evil spirit's axe failed to hit Bai Ye's body. The pure golden light energy made the sharp axe blade unable to advance an inch. "Get lost!" Bai Ye shouted in a low voice. The extremely masculine and masculine supreme 10 directions 5 thunders golden light fire cloud Jingyi true ki suddenly surged. As the unique martial arts of Longhu Mountain in the One World, the full-level golden light curse is not something that a mere evil spirit can withstand. Under the powerful impact of Bai Ye's full-level golden light curse, the axe evil spirit screamed and flew backwards. Then he was even more panicked and fled in fear, not daring to overstep his boundaries. The only person who could see this shocking scene was Jinzi. Other ordinary passengers could only vaguely see a flash of golden light. "My name is Bai Ye, and you must be my client, Miss Yotsuya Jinzi." Bai Ye looked at the stunned Yotsuya Jinzi and smiled gently. Post views 1615 Fairy Tale. The Request of All Worlds. See you at the beginning chapter 003 chapter 3. Peach wood sword slashes evil spirits like chopping vegetables and melons. Seeking flowers evaluation. Ding dong, the subway has arrived. Passengers who are getting off, please get off in time. Woo woo woo, the train sped along the track. The passengers on the platform left one after another. "Sister, are you going home directly next?" The young boy Yotsuya Kyusuk yawned and rubbed his sleepy eyes. "Kyusuk, go home first. Sister has something to do." Yotsuya Miko spoke, her pretty face still with a blank expression. "This is inevitable. After all, the scene she witnessed not long ago was too shocking. It is not the first time that Miko has met someone who can see evil spirits and ghosts like her. My classmate Yuri Nimuru also has a certain degree of yin and yang eyes. But this is the first time she has met a human who can fight against evil spirits and ghosts head-on and win. Add to that what Bai Ye mentioned about the client earlier at this moment, Jinzi's big heart, which could remain calm even when facing evil spirits, was excited. The voice that night was not a dream, but a real fact. After she issued the commission, a professional really took the order and came to exorcise the spirit. Sister? Sister? Really, sister? What are you daydreaming about? Who is this person? Yotani Kyusuk looked at Bai Ye, who was approaching with a vigilant face. This is Mr. Bai Ye, my Jinzi, who came back to his senses, spoke quickly. Anyway, he is not a bad person. You go back first. I have something to say to Mr. Bai Ye next. Hey, what is it? Sister, you are still young. You must be vigilant and don't be deceived by anyone in society. Yotani Kyusuk became more and more alert. Stop talking. Just go back if I tell you to. Sister knows her limits. After much persuasion from Jinzi, Yotsuya Kyusuk left, looking back every few steps. Jinzi breathed a sigh of relief, and then bowed respectfully to Bai Ye. Mr. Bai Ye, I'm sorry. He's my brother. Please don't bother with him. It doesn't matter. Let's find a quiet place to discuss the specific matters of the commission. Bai Ye said nonchalantly. Yes, I know a coffee shop, without waiting for Jinzi to finish. What we're going to talk about is not suitable for public places, and Miss Jinzi, you should need. Bai Ye's eyes swept over Jinzi's white and smooth ankles, and the crystal clear water stains had not completely dried. Seeing Z lower her head, she was stunned for a moment, and then her delicate face was flushed. She finally remembered that when she saw the axe ghost chopping people on the subway just now, she couldn't control herself and cried. Half an hour later, a high-end hotel suite. I'm really sorry, Mr. Bai Ye. I'm the one who asked you for something, but I've been accepting your favor. GZ wiped her wet hair and spoke apologetically. She was still a JK girl high school student, and even if she had pocket money, she could not afford the room fee of a high-end hotel. Bai Ye would not let a JK pay for the room, and the expenses here would be borne by Bai Ye himself. Bai Ye would not feel too bad about this. Compared to the mission reward, this amount of money is just a drizzle. What's more, this money was picked up for free. Half a day ago, Bai Ye had already arrived in this world and followed. He started to act according to the coordinates of the client in his mind. On the way, Bai Ye met a fellow Chinese from this world and saw the evil spirit that haunted him. Because they were fellow villagers, Bai Ye helped him get rid of the evil spirit. The wealthy fellow villager who knew what Bai Ye had done was immediately excited and wanted to make close friends with Bai Ye. In the end, Bai Ye declined the offer on the grounds that he had something to do, but before leaving, he gave him a box of money as a reward for getting rid of the evil spirit. Now it just happened to come in handy. Miss Jinzi, let's talk about the commission in detail next. Bai Ye pointed to the seat next to him and smiled gently. Jinzi was stunned, and a blush appeared on her fair face unconsciously, but it soon disappeared. My eyes are a little special, and Mr. Bai Ye should be the same. You can also see the axe evil spirit on the subway not long ago. Jinzi took a deep breath and spoke solemnly. Bai Ye nodded without comment. My eyes can see things that ordinary people cannot see. That is, evil spirits. They always appear inadvertently. If they know that I can see, Jinzi began to talk about her ghost-seeing experiences over the years. At the end, crystal tears could not stop falling. This was the first time she confided her feelings to others and told about her suffering. The emotions that had been suppressed for many years were completely released at this moment. Wow, Jinzi couldn't help crying out loud. From beginning to end, Bai Ye just listened quietly. Until Jinzi finished speaking, he raised his big hand and gently placed it on the girl's hair. You are really an amazing girl, Miss Jinzi. It's okay now. There's no need to be afraid next. I will accept your commission. Bai Ye smiled and comforted. Mr. Bai Ye, Jinzi raised her head, her beautiful eyes blurred with tears and shining. At this moment, some inexplicable emotions surged in her heart. for the first time ever. Another half an hour. Jian Zi's agitated emotions finally calmed down. Okay, it's getting late. Let's stop here today. I'll take you home. Bai Ye stood up. Is it okay? Jian Zi's eyes lit up. Of course you can so. You are my client, and I have to show off my skills in front of the client to make you feel completely at ease. Bai Ye similait faintly. Simply packed up the clothes that needed to be changed. Bai Ye and Jian Zi left the hotel. Night fell. Some streets were crowded. Some alleys were empty. No one, but there were ghosts. Mr. Bai Ye, why don't we just forget it? Don't take any risks. Looking at the evil spirits lurking in the alley, Jian Zi swallowed her saliva and held the hem of her skirt tightly with both hands. Firstly, she didn't bring any spare clothes and was now in a fat vacuum state. Secondly, it was because of nervousness and fear, because she had discovered that there was a big evil spirit in this alley that she had encountered before. That was when she and her best friend, Yurikawa Hana, bought a bracelet of beads to ward off evil spirits. Just getting close to it would cause the top beads of the goddess of the town to explode. It was definitely not an ordinary little ghost. However, facing the evil spirits that filled the alley, Bai Ye was not surprised, but happy, and did not retreat, but advanced. Please wait a moment. Bai Ye held the wooden handle of the black umbrella with his right hand and slowly pulled it out. It was not until then that Jian Zi realized that the black umbrella was actually an umbrella sword and the handle was actually a wooden sword. Using a wooden sword to deal with evil spirits? What a real man. Just when Jian Zi was so worried, Bai Ye had already taken action. What happened next once again overturned Jian Zi's cognition. Under the peach-wood sword emitting a faint golden light, the evil spirits were actually powerless to fight back. Even amongst the powerful big ghosts and evil spirits were also chopped and exploded on the spot. In just 1 minute, all the evil spirits in the alley were killed. While the night wind rose as Bai Ye turned around, blowing the girl's skirt. The fair and beautiful full scenery was clearly displayed. Post views, 1377 Fairy Tale. The request of all worlds. See you at the beginning chapter 004, chapter 4. The Exorcist Bai Ye is Jian Zi's boyfriend. Seeking flowers and comments, peach is the essence of the 5 woods, also known as the fairy wood, so it can suppress evil spirits. The essence of peach wood is born in the Ghost Gate, controls hundreds of ghosts, and has the magical power of warding off evil spirits. In the legends of China, since ancient times, peachwood swords are a great weapon for beheading ghosts and demons. It has a natural restraint on evil things. Not to mention that the peachwood sword in Bai Ye's hand has an extraordinary origin. According to the introduction of the system, it is related to Zhang Daoling, the first generation of Tianshi of Longhu Mountain. Using the peachwood sword with the golden light spell, it can be said to be a dimensionality reduction attack on evil spirits. At the same time, through this practice, Bai Ye also discovered another thing. Let's go. I'll take you home first. Bai Ye put the peachwood sword back into the umbrella sheath and came to Jian Zi's side. Oh. Jian Zi came to her senses after a while, holding the hem of her skirt, and walked step by step, her fair face full of blush. Just now, the night wind blew up her skirt, and the chilly feeling woke her up from the shock. Then she met Bai Ye's slightly embarrassed gaze. Being seen, it was obviously the first day they met. I made a fool of myself one after another. It would have been fine if I was scared to tears when I was discovered, but now I was completely seen. For a pure love JK, this experience is not bad, but unbelievable. Jian Zi found that apart from being shy, she did not have much resistance. It didn't take long. Bai Ye sent Jian Zi home. I'll be here for the next 2 days. If you have anything, please contact me through the commission channel. Goodbye. After saying that, Bai Ye turned and left. It was time to work next. Although he had accepted Jian Zi's commission, Bai Ye couldn't always be her bodyguard. However, because Jian Zi's commission was relatively general, Bai Ye didn't know how to complete the commission at first. Until just when he was dealing with the evil spirits in the alley, Bai Ye discovered the growth of the commission progress bar. As long as you keep killing evil spirits, you can increase the progress of the task commission. When you kill a certain number of evil spirits, the commission will be completed. The method has been found, so what are you waiting for? Bai Ye, with a sword, began to frequently go in and out of the streets. On this day, the evil spirits of Shao Baga finally remembered the fear of being dominated by the mysterious Oriental power. Time passed. 3 days passed in the blink of an eye. During these 3 days, Bai Ye was either slaying ghosts or on his way to slay ghosts. The progress bar of the commission task kept rising, and now it has passed halfway. On the other side, since meeting Bai Ye 3 days ago, Jianzi has not contacted Bai Ye and returned to his ordinary daily life of seeing ghosts. Every time he saw a ghost, Jianzi calmly ignored it, but Bai Ye's face involuntarily appeared in his mind. But finally gave up the idea of contacting for help, because Jianzi suddenly realized that a powerful person like Bai Ye must be very busy on weekdays. She was lucky to be able to accept the commission of an ordinary girl like her. How could she bother about everything? Besides, commissions often require corresponding rewards. What can an ordinary high school girl like her pay? Although I don't want to bother Mr. Bai Ye, I can only ask for help from Mr. Bai Ye this time. Jianzi exhaled lightly, and Bai Ye contacted her with a nervous mood. Bai Ye did not disappoint her, and almost replied in seconds. The sun set. The sky was full of clouds. The students who finished their day's study went home in groups of 3 or 2. Hey, Jianzi, have you heard about it? The beautiful girl with short hair in a golden gradient color approached Jianzi mysteriously. Heard? What? Jianzi asked puzzledly. That's the one, the super exorcist who appeared in the past few days, Master Bai Ye. Yulia opened a web page and showed the content to her 2 best friends. Mr. Bai Ye is really a big shot, Jianzi couldn't help thinking. This Master Bai Ye has real skills. It is said that after he appeared, the number of evil spirits in various places has decreased sharply. There are also many rich people who want to make friends with him, and even offer sky-high prices just to have a meal with him. Yulia talked freely and told her best friends the gossip she saw on the internet, as if she had already regarded Bai Ye as a new idol. Jizi pursed her lips and just listened quietly without saying anything. It would be great if I could exorcise ghosts with the legendary Master Bai Ye. Even just taking a photo would be fine. Yulia thought with anticipation. Oh, just then the hot orange-haired beauty Yuekui on the right of Jianzi suddenly exclaimed. Look, Jianzi, there's a handsome guy. Yuekui pointed in the direction of the school gate. At the same time, Bai Ye at the school gate also looked at Jianzi, and the other 2 smiled and nodded. Wow. The little fangirl Yulia suddenly grabbed Jianzi's arm excitedly and cried out. That's Master Bai Ye, my idol. I'm not dreaming. The master actually smiled at me. No, the master is walking towards me. What should I do? What should I do? Just when Yulia was at a loss, Bai Ye had already walked in front of Jianzi. Mr. Bai Ye, I'm really sorry to bother you. Jianzi bowed. Don't worry. I told you. Contact me anytime if you have anything. Bai Ye smiled. Wow, Jianzi. So Master Bai Ye. Yes, that's right. Because Jianzi, you are also a great exorcist. The little fangirl Yuria was thinking about it. She recalled the experience of exploring the tunnel with Jianzi last week. Jianzi just waved her hand, and an evil spirit was blown up and disappeared. As both are exorcists, it is natural that Jianzi knows Bai Ye. Unlike Yuria, Yuekai's imagination went in other directions. Wow, Jianzi, this guy can't be your boyfriend, right? Really, we're best friends. Jianzi, why didn't you tell me that you have a boyfriend? Yuekai winked and pushed her best friend. Jianzi, I want to take a photo with Master Bai. If possible, can I watch your exorcism process? Please. Yulia on the other side chattered. Oh really, Hua? Don't talk nonsense. Jianzi blushed and finally sent her 2 girlfriends away after much persuasion. I'm really sorry, Mr. Bai. I made you laugh. It's okay. Let's solve your problem next. Bai smiled nonchalantly. Post views 1263 Fairy Tale. The Request of All Worlds. See you at the beginning. Chapter 005, Chapter 5. Evil Spirit Experience Pack. Little fangirl comes to visit. Seeking flowers and comments. Hospital. A place to save the dying and the wounded. Many people are saved every day. But similarly, many people die here every day. Therefore, Hospitals are often gathering places for evil spirits. I should have thought of this earlier. In horror movies, places like hospitals and schools are the best filming locations. Bai Ye's eyes lit up as he looked at the evil spirits wandering in the corridors, his eyes full of surprise. To him, evil spirits are walking experience packs and the key to unlocking blind box rewards. GNZ, you shouldn't be in a hurry. Bai Ye asked. Well, no hurry, no hurry. Jian Z waved his hands quickly. Then, I'll go warm up first. While speaking, Bai Ye slapped his big hands wrapped in golden light. Bang! A passing evil spirit was annihilated by the bombardment of golden energy. About half an hour later, all the evil spirits wandering in the open of the hospital were completely eliminated. Mr. Bai Ye is worthy of it. Jizi, who witnessed the whole process, was subconsciously shocked and murmured. It took a little time. Let's solve your problem first. Bai Ye said, well, okay, actually, Jizi sorted out her words and told Bai Ye the whole story in a concise manner. The origin of everything was her new head teacher, Yoshitaka Tono. Jizi had met him once in the park and saw many cat spirits entangled with him. When they met again, Yoshitaka Tono had more cat spirits and a powerful evil spirit. Jizi originally thought that the teacher, Yoshitsugu Tono, was a cat abuser and wanted to find evidence of his abuse. She never thought that everything was her misunderstanding. Yoshitsugu Tono was not a perverted cat abuser. In the end, he broke his bones and injured himself while trying to save the kitten. Afterwards, from the mouth of Yoshitsugu Tono, a childhood friend, Jinzi learned that the evil spirit on his body was most likely the teacher's mother. When she was alive, she controlled the teacher with an almost perverted desire for control, and she still did not let go after her death. After knowing these things, Jinzi could not sit idly by and wanted to do something. Besides, if she did nothing, she would have to face the evil spirit every day in class, and Jinzi's heart would not be able to withstand the continuous shock. So that's it. It's a small matter. Bai Ye smiled slightly. After hearing what Z said, he also remembered. Since we are here, let's solve it together. While talking, the two came to the door of teacher Tono Yoshi's ward. The door opened. Tono Yoshi in the ward withdrew his gaze from the sunset outside the window. Miss Jianzi, this person here is looking at the stranger brought by the student. Tono Yoshi's face showed suspicion. The next second, something even more puzzling happened. It's enough. Please give him freedom. Jizi stared at the hideous evil spirit on Tono Yoshi's body and said calmly and firmly, you can really see it. The twisted and controlling evil spirit screamed and rushed towards Jianzi. The hideous bloody mouth was about to bite off. At the critical moment, a big hand surrounded by golden light reached out from the side. It grabbed the evil spirit's head like a chicken. Don't attack my important client, Bai Ye whispered softly, clenching his 5 fingers. The powerful golden energy surged, causing the evil spirit's head to explode. Jianzi, you guys, I don't know what's going on, but I feel much more relaxed. Tono Yoshi moved his shoulders and a smile appeared on his face. Excuse me, teacher, I'll see you tomorrow. Jianzi bowed and said, leaving the hospital with Bai Ye. Mr. Bai Ye, this time it's really thanks to your help. Thank you very much. Don't mind. You are my client. Serving customers is my purpose. Bai Yisimidet, client. Jianzi pursed her lips. Even though she didn't pay anything, while talking, the two walked to the hospital entrance. Jianzi, Master Bai Ye, the twin-tailed JK, beautiful girl Yuria, who had been following all the way, ran over excitedly. Master, you are here to exorcise evil spirits in the hospital, right? Can you take me with you? I could be a cheerleader. The little fangirl Yulia's eyes lit up, her face full of hope and expectation. No, Yulia, don't cause trouble for Mr. Bai Ye. Jianzi hurried forward, fearing that her sister would cause trouble to Bai Ye. No, it's okay. Bai Ye waved his hand. Your name is Yulia, right? Are you familiar with evil spirits? Yeah, although I can't compare to Master Bai Ye and Jianzi, but I can see a little bit. The little fangirl Yulia nodded repeatedly. So, do you know where there are a lot of evil spirits? I have something to do with them. Bai Ye asked. compared to walking alone in the streets and alleys, aimlessly looking for experience packs. It would be faster to go directly to the den where the evil spirits gather and kill them all at once. And after his crazy sweep a few days ago, I wonder if the evil spirits in the alley have heard the news. Now they're all hiding, with only a few kittens left. A large number of evil spirits. Listening to Bai Ye's words, the little fangirl Yulia immediately understood his intention. I know. I have been hanging out on forums for many years, searching. I have collected a lot of information. The tunnel that Jinzi and I went to last time is one of them. In addition, there is an abandoned mental hospital in the east of the city. Little fangirl Yulia listed more than a dozen places in one breath. Master, tomorrow is the weekend. Can I go with you? I can show you the way. Little fangirl Yulia was very excited. This is really a big help. Bai Ye smiled. Mr. Bai Ye, can I go too? Looking at Bai Ye and Yulia, who were talking happily, Jinzi couldn't help but speak. Of course. Bai Ye nodded in agreement. Post views. 1210 Fairy Tale. The Request of All Worlds. See you at the beginning. Chapter 006. Chapter 6. The Five Thunders Law. Tong Tian Lu. Support Jinzi. Seeking flowers and comments. Early the next morning, Bai Ye drove a rented luxury sports car, picked up Jinzi and Yulia, and sped all the way. The first battle of the three was the abandoned tunnel that Jinzi and Yulia had been to once. Master Bai Ye, there is one. Yulia pointed at the minion evil spirit in the corner with surprise. Little did she know, at this moment, not far in front of her, standing there was a terrifying army of evil spirits led by the Iron Bucket Spider evil spirit. Let's just consider it as a reward for leading the way. Bai Ye took out 2 willow leaves from his pocket, dipped them in water, and then passed them in front of Yulia's eyes. This is the eye-opening technique in Maoshan Taoism. As Bai Ye cast the spell, Yulia's half-baked yin and yang eyes suddenly opened fully. The scene that was originally invisible was now clearly displayed in front of her. Open and close, fearlessly facing the terrifying army of evil spirits. Even if the leading Iron Bucket Spider evil spirit had some means, it had little power to fight back against the full-powered heavenly master Bai Ye. In just a quarter of an hour, the evil spirit base in the abandoned tunnel was completely eradicated and all the evil spirits were killed. Bai Ye's task completion progress bar also rose by 6%. Wow, so handsome. Master Bai Ye is so handsome. Little fangirl Yulia's face flushed with excitement, and she almost climaxed on the spot. If Master Bai Ye hadn't been here, I would have been eaten by the evil spirits. This great favor is not too much to repay, even if I pledge my life to him. Haha, let's go to the next location. Bai Ye smiled and drove the excited little fangirl and the thoughtful Jinzi to the next evil spirit base, the abandoned mental hospital. 2 days. Bai Ye took Jinzi and Yulia to more than 10 places. We visited all the dangerous places mentioned in the forum. A total of 9 evil spirit bases were eliminated, and several other places were just rumors and were not very dangerous. But this was enough. After eliminating these 9 evil spirit bases, Bai Ye's task progress bar was finally full, and the reward package was ready. Without any hesitation, Bai Ye opened the task reward while driving. Ding dong. Congratulations to the host for completing the first task and obtaining the full level 5 Thunders Law and the full level 8 Wonders Tongtian Talisman. Task points plus 100. Consume a certain amount of points to freely travel through the world. Swoosh. 2 rays of light suddenly appeared and sank into Bai Ye's limbs and bones, bringing a new and powerful force. Bai Ye's eyes opened and closed, and there seemed to be a blazing electric light flashing in his eyes. The 5 Thunders Law of the Longhu Mountain Tianchi Mansion represents the most rigid, yang, and fierce power of heavenly punishment. Now, I should only need to raise my hand to easily destroy an evil spirit stronghold. Bai Ye grinned and whispered to himself. Unfortunately, there are no extra evil spirit strongholds for him to practice. After taking Jinzi and Yulia to a luxurious meal, Bai Ye sent them home one after another, and then returned to the hotel to start practicing new skills. 8 Wonders, Tongtian Talisman. No need to set up an altar. No need to circulate ki. Anytime, any place. Draw talismans at will. Draw a lot of talismans. This is the Tontian talisman among the 8 wonders of the world of one person. Bai Ye, who has learned the complete solution of Maoshan Taoism, has a lot of experience in talismans. If you learn Tontian talisman in one move, you'll be able to do it easily. In less than an hour, you have drawn a stack of powerful thunder talismans. Just when Bai Ye was about to try other types of talismans. Dang, there was a knock on the door. Mr. Bai Ye, Jinzi's voice came from outside the door. Bai Ye opened the door and looked at the panting girl outside the door with a serious expression, thinking that something had happened. I never thought, Mr. Bai Ye, are you leaving? Jinzi calmed down a little and looked up at Bai Ye. Bai Ye was stunned. Now that the commission was completed and the reward was in hand, he was indeed planning to leave. But he hadn't figured out how to tell Jinzi, and Jinzi came to the door first. Since Jinzi already knew, there was no need to hide it. Yes, I'm sorry, Jinzi. I can't stay in one place for a long time. Bai Ye nodded. I know. Because Mr. Bai Ye is a great man, it's impossible for him to always be with an ordinary girl like me. Jinzi lowered her head and whispered in frustration. Don't be afraid. I prepared some parting gifts. Even if I'm not here, these talismans are enough for you to deal with those evil spirits. Bai Ye pointed to the talismans on the table, which were originally prepared for Jinzi. No, I'm not afraid of losing Mr. Bai Ye's protection, but I've received so much care from Mr. Bai Ye, but two didn't pay any revenge. This commission is not fair at all. Jinzi said excitedly. No, I have definitely received the commission's reward. Bai Ye shook his head. The 2 skills of the full level 5 Thunder's Righteous Method and the full level Tontian Talisman are enough to make up for Bai Ye's hard work these days. However, Jinzi knew nothing about this. She only knew that she had not paid anything yet, and she had to do something. Yesterday, although Yulia's words were just subconsciously emotional, Jinzi listened to them. Now that she is just a high school girl, the only thing she can pay is probably to pledge her body to him. No, this has nothing to do with favors. It's what she wants to do. From the first day she met Bai Ye, her heart has fallen. Now that they are about to part, she wants to make her life without regrets. Mr. Bai Ye, I want to be your woman. Jinzi took a deep breath, mustered up the courage to step forward, hugged Bai, and expressed his feelings. Listening to Jinzi's bold words, Bai was stunned for a moment, a little confused. Wait, Jinzi, your family, no problem. I told my mother that we will go to Xiaohua's house tonight. Jinzi said seriously. No, I mean forget it. Looking at the girl's eager eyes, Bai really didn't know how to refuse, and could only choose to support her to the end. Post views, 1121 Fairy Tale. The Request of All Worlds. See you at the beginning, Chapter 007, Chapter 7. Senkadani Shrine. Face the evil spirit of the fox god. Seeking flowers and comments. Early in the morning. The warm morning sun shines through the gap of the curtains. The girl with long black hair is covered with a thin quilt, and her snow-white skin is rosy. A few bright plum blossoms are dotted on the corner of the white bedsheet. That is the proof of the girl's growth. Mr. Bai Ye, thank you for giving me such a happy memory. I will never forget it. Jinzi first bowed to thank him, and then stood on tiptoe and boldly touched Bai Ye's mouth lightly. After doing all this, Jinzi turned around and ran away in a hurry. Then let's continue practicing next. Bai Ye also smiled with satisfaction, closed the door, and continued to draw talismans. In addition to the newly acquired 5 Thunders and Tontian Lu, Bai Ye now has a total of 4 skills. Since it is a systematic infusion, these abilities are already at the maximum level. But in order to fully integrate them, Bai Ye still needs to figure it out and explore it himself. Just like last night, if Bai Ye hadn't suddenly remembered to use the bedroom skills in the Taoist Secret Chapter. With Jinzi's small body, after enduring a night of hard work, she would definitely not be able to stand up today. A day passed quietly. In the blink of an eye, it was dusk. Wow, Jinzi, look over there. Master Bai Ye is here. In the classroom on the 2nd floor of the teaching building, Yulia excitedly pointed in the direction of the school gate. Jinzi was stunned at first, and then her fair face unconsciously flew up into a piece of red cloud. She thought that after this morning, she and Bai Ye would never see each other again. That's why she was so bold to express her feelings last night and gave everything she had. I never thought, Jianzi, is that handsome guy really not your boyfriend? And last night you asked me to cover for you, without waiting for Lily Kawana to finish. Wow! Jianzi, blushing, screamed and interrupted, and then ran away. Outside the school gate. Mr. Bai Ye, aren't you leaving? Jianzi asked. It's time to leave, but before I leave, I have to let you know, give you some things, and finally help you deal with some problems. Bai Ye said seriously. He handed over the black cash box in his hand. Open it. What was neatly stacked inside was not money, but stacks of exorcism talismans. 5 thunder talismans, bodyguard talismans, soul calming talismans, salvation talismans, golden light talismans, 6 dings, and 6 jazz talismans. Tian Gang righteous key talismans, each one is a genuine top-grade talisman. If it is auctioned, it can be sold at a sky-high price. For example, the 5 Thunder Talisman refined by Bai Ye by combining the Tontian Talisman with the 5 Thunders righteous method can easily wipe out an evil spirit stronghold. The functions of other types of talismans are also varied and varied. This is the instruction manual for the talisman. In addition, there are 3 special talismans here, called the Summoning Talisman. Bai Ye pointed to the 3 particularly strong talismans. Summoning Talisman, Jianzi tilted her head in a cute way. This is something I improve myself. Using this talisman, you can borrow some of my power, just like I am always by your side. Bai Ye said solemnly. This is also the result of his research today. Because of the entrustment system, there is a special channel between him and Jianzi. Through this connection channel, some things can be transmitted. If it was just an ordinary entrustment relationship, Bai Ye would not need to do this. But after last night, Jianzi was already his woman, so Bai Ye would naturally take better care of her. Well, Mr. Bai Ye, Jianzi's beautiful big eyes were suddenly filled with tears of emotion. Okay, let's deal with the last problem. Bai Ye smiled slightly and raised his hand to wipe away the tears from Jianzi's eyes. What's the problem? Jianzi was stunned again. Before you entrusted me with the task, you had been to a shrine, right? Bai Ye it. Ah. Jianzi finally remembered. At that time, she and her best friend, Xiao Hua, accidentally entered an ancient shrine. There, she made a wish to the gods that she would do anything as long as she could solve the evil spirit. As a result, the god really appeared and solved the evil spirit that was following her. Later, when they were in the tunnel, the god helped again and drove away the Spider-Woman evil spirit. However, after Bai Ye came, the god never appeared again. Because of the sense of security brought by Bai Ye, Jianzi had already forgotten it. Until now, Bai Ye mentioned it. Mr. Bai Ye, do you know the identity of that god? Jizi asked in surprise. God? It's just another evil spirit. Bai Ye laughed. Jizi shudered sudenli. In fact, she also vaguely noticed it. Mr. Bai Ye, the one who helped me before, changes his gesture every time he appears. What does that mean? Jizi asked again. It's probably the number of times. When you reach a certain number of times, you will be paid. Bai Ye said. While talking, Bai Ye and Jianzi came to Sanhu Valley Shrine. Hualala, the whirlwind blew up the fallen leaves all over the sky. Bai Ye narrowed his eyes slightly. Even without climbing the steps and setting foot in the shrine, he could feel that there was something huge here. Although he was a false god, his practice over the years was genuine. If it was Bai Ye who had just arrived in this world, perhaps it would not be possible. But now, the situation is different. Before leaving this world, Bai Ye also wanted to test the final results. Good on Mr. Bai Ye. Why don't you just forget it? Anyway, I have the talisman left by Mr. Bai Ye now, so I don't need their help. As long as I don't ask them for help, it should be fine. Jianzi held Bai Ye's arm in fear and spoke weakly. Since we are here, if we just leave like this, it will really think I am afraid of it. Bai Ye held Jianzi's cold little hand, climbed the steps step by step, passed through the torii, and entered the shrine. Hualala, a strange whirlwind rolled up between heaven and earth. Golden and black lines intertwined in the shrine. 1 big and 2 small, three fox ghosts appeared in front of Bai Ye and yyds. Post views 1079 Fairy Tale. The Request of All Worlds. See you at the beginning, Chapter 008, Chapter 8. Five Thunders eliminate fox demons. Return to the fairy tale world. Seeking flowers and reviews, Sankadani Shrine. It has been occupied by the terrifying fox spirit since ancient times. In the years of drought and famine in ancient times, the ancients used psychic girls as sacrifices in exchange for good weather and good harvests. It is unknown whether the fox spirit can protect good weather and good harvests, but it is true that it needs psychic sacrifices to maintain its strength. Due to the development of the times, some ancient bad habits have been abandoned, and no one offers sacrifices to the shrine anymore. The fox spirit sealed the shrine with a barrier to ensure that its own power would not be lost too quickly. Until a month ago, Jizi and her best friend Yurikawa Hana fled here, relying on Yurikawa Hana's extraordinary strong life energy. The barrier of Sankadani Shrine was broken. The fox spirit also woke up from his slumber and fell in love with Jinzi and Xiaohua at first sight. Took them as new sacrifices, especially Xiaohua, who had strong vitality. Due to some constraints, the fox evil spirit could not attack the two directly. So after hearing Jinzi's prayer, the fox evil spirit made a contract with him. I thought everything would go smoothly, but Chung Yaojin showed up halfway. Now, that Chung Yaojin came to the door openly. If it were before, it would have bitten the weak human to death. But today is different. As a great evil spirit, it actually felt a little threatened by the man in front of it. Human, what do you want to do? The fox evil spirit whispered dully. Nothing, just to repay a cause and effect. My Jianzi is young and ignorant, and she has reached a certain contract with you. I am here to help her cut off this cause and effect. Bai Ye smiled lightly. Mr. Bai Ye, Jianzi's pale golden eyes were filled with mist again. The words "my Jianzi" made her happy. It even made her happier than the box of talismans. Listening to Bai Ye's words, the fox evil spirit was silent at first, and then nodded unexpectedly to show her agreement. No problem. I can let this girl go, but the one who came with her that day, I must get it, the fox evil spirit said firmly. You want Xiaohua? Jianzi's pupils shrank suddenly. An endless panic appeared on her pretty face. She knew about her bestie's special physique. The life energy that was so strong that it emitted golden light was a great tonic for the evil spirits. It would be fine if she was the only one being targeted, but the other party actually targeted Xiaohua. Mr. Bai Ye, Jianzi looked at Bai Ye nervously. Don't worry. Bai Ye nodded and gave a reassuring look. Sorry, little fox. Xiaohua is also my person. You can't move. What? Don't push your luck. Little fox, are you looking down on us? Before the big evil spirit spoke, the two fox Shikigami beside him were the first to get angry and attack together. Snap! Bai Ye casually threw out two big Baido and knocked the two little fox ghosts to the ground, almost destroying them. Children should not interrupt when adults are talking. It won't be so easy next time. Bai Ye spoke coldly, and then his eyes fell on the fox big evil spirit again. That's it. I saved Jianzi and Xiaohua. I didn't kill these two little foxes just to offset your two attacks. Everything ends here. Just pretend that they didn't come that day. This is good for everyone. Bang! The ground under the feet of the fox big evil spirit cracked. The powerful resentment was stirring and boiling, causing the world to change color. Faced with the unpredictable Bai Ye as a god, it has already made concessions. However, the other party has repeatedly pushed forward, even using this almost commanding tone. A shrill scream exploded. The fox evil spirit's four-petal fong mouth, like a pitchfork, suddenly split open and open to the limit. An evil spirit monster with eyes like copper bells and extremely ugly appearance slowly emerged from its big mouth. This is the true body of the so-called fox god under the sacred appearance. An evil spirit is an evil spirit after all. Human, I have made an exception and made concessions to you, but you don't know what's good for you. In this case, you will be the sacrifice instead of them. The evil spirit spoke coldly. The moment the voice fell, one after another, big black-haired hands rushed out from his abdomen, grabbing Bai Ye and Jianzi. Heaven and earth mysterious sect, the root of all key. Cultivate all calamities. Prove my supernatural power. Bai Ye recited the motto, his voice like thunder. Dang, the brilliant golden light burst from his body, blocking all the black-haired hands. Clang, Bai Ye drew his sword out of its sheath. The peachwood sword surrounded by golden light slashed out. Like boiling oil and ice and snow, it easily cut off the arm of the big, evil spirit. The big, evil spirit screamed miserably, jumped, and retreated to the roof of the shrine. It seemed to have turned into a centipede with thousands of feet and swam rapidly along the ground, roof, beams, and walls. Bai Ye seemed unaware of the evil spirits, waiting for an opportunity. He held a peachwood sword in his right hand and rode in the air with his left hand. One after another, complex talismans took shape, surrounding Bai Ye and yyds, and finally expanded suddenly. The evil spirit screamed again. The evil spirit that attacked Bai Ye and the others from behind was hit by the thunder talisman. The extremely strong and masculine power of thunder made most of its body burnt black. The natural restraint of thunder on evil things made its body paralyzed. Damn human, how can you be so powerful? The fox evil spirit yelled in exasperation. It's not that I'm too strong, but that you're too weak. Bai Ye spoke lightly, raising his right hand high. Boom, boom, boom. The earth and the sky roared. The two stone giants rose up and suppressed the fox evil spirit. Above the sky, thunderclouds gathered, and the divine power was mighty. Lightning Mother and Thunder Father, quickly send down your magical power. Taishang Laojun, hurry up and command. Boom, 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 boom. 5 thunders righteousness. 5 consecutive divine thunders fell from the sky and hit the fox evil spirit. In an instant, the fox evil spirit was completely annihilated without even a scream. The entire Sanhu Valley Shrine was pierced, and the soul of the girl who had been bound there for who knows how many years finally ascended to heaven. Is it over? Jeezy whispered. It's over. Bai Ye nodded. Mr. Bai Ye. Jeezy stood on tiptoe under the setting sun. The boy and girl hugged and kissed each other, casting a long and narrow shadow. The next day, really, Jinzi, where did you go last night? I won't cover for you next time. Yuri Kawaka complained. Yes, there won't be a next time. Shaowa, I'll treat you to lunch at noon. Jeezy smiled. Jeezy, Jinzi, will Master Bai Ye come today? I found another evil spirit base. Yuri has said expectantly. Mr. Bai Ye has gone to work. He probably won't come back in the near future, but he will definitely come back in the future, Jeezy said firmly. At this moment, Fairy Tale World, Magnolia, Fairy Tale Guild. Everyone, Bai Ye is back. Like a stone that stirs up 1,000 waves, the entire guild is shocked. Post views, 1097 Fairy Tale, The Request of All Worlds. See you at the beginning, Chapter 009, Chapter 9 team, up to travel through time. Lead Erza to defeat the evil dragon. Seeking flowers and comments, Fairy Tale, Guild Hall. The wizards who were not on a mission were chatting about their recent experiences in groups of 2 or 3. Towards the bar. Mira, Bai Ye hasn't come back yet? The girl wearing armor, a short skirt, high boots, and with beautiful long crimson hair spoke. The girl's name is Erza Shukolet, known as the Fairy Queen, and she is one of the souls of the guild. Not only is she powerful, she is also one of the few S-class wizards in the guild. She also has a strong leadership aura. As a member of the guild's discipline committee, she makes everyone obedient. Even the top troublemakers like Natsu and Gray are forced to be well-behaved like little lambs in front of her. In addition, Erza has a very strong sense of belonging to the guild. Fairy Tale is Erza's home. All the wizards in the guild are like family. Erza took good care of Bai Ye, who had just joined the guild for a few months. After learning that Bai Ye had not been heard from for a week because he was on a mission, Erza was worried. These days, he even didn't care about taking missions himself and would come to the bar to ask Mira from time to time. Alas, not yet. Faced with Erza's news, Mirajane sighed and shook her head. During the time when Bai Ye was away, Mirajane also missed him. After all, with Bai Ye as her assistant, her work was much easier. It shouldn't be a big problem. I have confirmed that the commission Bai Ye took was a D-level exorcism mission, which was in line with his magic. The reason why he didn't come back for so long might be because the journey was too long. Mirajane said, "It's really worrying. If I get involved in any trouble, no. Mira, do you know the location of Bai Ye's mission? I really have to go and take a look." Irusa was resolute and did what she wanted to do. She was ready to leave immediately. Unfortunately, it's an unfamiliar place. I only know the name, not where it is, and I can't find it on the map. Mirajane spread her hands, just when the two were at a loss. Bai Ye is back. Nobrazuro, the NPC of the Guild Commission Board, shouted happily. During the time when Bai Ye was away, he also missed him very much. After all, Bai Ye had been standing guard in front of the Commission Board with him for several months, and he regarded him as a close friend. What? Bai Ye is back. Bai Ye, you are finally back. Without you, I feel like something is missing. How was the first mission? Did everything go well? It doesn't matter if it fails. We can just come back next time. Mikoto, Wakaba, and other members of the Fairy Tale Atmosphere group all greeted him happily. Bai Ye, didn't you say that you would give me your first time? Kana stepped forward and tapped Bai Ye's mouth with her pink fist. Sorry, it was urgent and you were drunk at the time, Kana. But fortunately, everything went well and the commission was successfully completed. Bai Ye smiled. He would naturally not misinterpret Kana's meaning. The first time Kana mentioned refers to the escort of the first mission. Generally, the first mission of a guild rookie must be accompanied by a senior. On the one hand, it is to ensure the safety of the rookie, and on the other hand, it is also for the sake of maintaining the face of the guild. After all, if the rookie messes up the mission, it is also the face and prestige of the guild that are lost. It's good that it goes well, but you made me worry for so long. You must buy me a drink. Kana said, "No problem." Bai Ye readily agreed. "Today, all the drinks will be charged to me. Everyone enjoyed drinking." "Oh, since you said so, Bai Ye, I won't be polite with you." Everyone, cheers to Bai Ye's success in his first mission. Bai Ye will pay for all the consumption today. Everyone, let's get excited. All the wizards in the guild cheered happily. Kana even started drinking with a barrel in her arms. Bai Ye passed everyone and came to the bar, handing the commission receipt to Mirajane. "Okay, confirm receipt. The commission receipt of Miss Yotsuya Miko." Mirajane stamped the fairy tale emblem on the receipt and recorded it. "Bai Ye, how do you feel about your first commission?" AI Luza asked. "Very good." Bai Ye nodded. "Well, being able to complete the commission independently means that you are already a capable wizard. However, it would be best if you could find someone to partner with you next time you go on a mission." AI Luza raised her slender hand and subconsciously patted Bai Ye on the shoulder to encourage him. If it was Bai Ye, an ordinary person before, he would probably have dislocated his shoulder. After all, although AI Luza was kind, she was really rough when she hit him. But it's different now. At the same time, that AI Luza's armored hand slapped down. A faint golden light rose from Bai Ye's shoulder. The golden light spell ran automatically to protect the body and blocked AI Luza's force. Erza exclaimed in surprise. Obviously, she also noticed the changes in Bai Ye. "Ahem, this time I was a bit of an adventurer, and I learned some new tricks." Bai Ye admitted vaguely. "We are in the same guild, so it's impossible to hide it." Not bad, not bad." Erza nodded and patted again. "All right, Erza, that's enough." Mirajane hurried forward and separated the two. "And Bai Ye, you are glad that your first commission was successful, but don't get too complacent. If you let Kana and the others continue, I'm afraid the commission's reward will not be enough, and you will have to pay your own salary." Mirajane reminded. "No problem. The reward for this commission is quite generous." Bai Ye said, "In the Visible Girl's world, because of the Chinese rich businessman, Bai Ye made a name for himself in just a few days. You can earn a lot of money with just a little effort. Although the currencies of the two worlds are not interoperable, gold and jewelry are hard currencies, and Bai Ye still brought some back." Bai Ye said so. Erza and Mirajane couldn't say anything more. A night of celebration. Bai Ye's life returned to normal after returning to Fairy Tale. Even though he has gained extraordinary power, Bai Ye still serves as Myra's assistant and receptionist. In his spare time, he would go to the commission board from time to time to see if there are any new commissions. At noon, 3 days later, ding dong, a system prompt sounded in Bai Ye's mind while he was wiping the wine utensils, indicating that a new commission task had appeared. Without the slightest hesitation, Bai Ye took off the commission letter and prepared to set off after reporting to Mira. As soon as he walked out of the guild gate, he was greeted by a heroic female knight in armor, with a fragrant breeze blowing in his face. Bai Ye, are you going to go on a mission? Aluza raised her eyebrows and asked. Yes, Bai Ye nodded. It's just right. I'm free now. Let's go together. Aluza said enthusiastically. This is not good. Bai Ye was stunned for a moment. What he accepted was the commission of the 10,000 worlds, and the next step was to travel to other worlds. Before obtaining absolute power, Bai Ye did not want this secret to be exposed too early. Besides, how to travel with Erza is also the #1 problem. What's wrong with that? Irusa asked back. This is just a simple D-level mission. It's really a waste of talent to let an S-level wizard like Erza go with you. Bai Ye said, what's the matter? There is no distinction between high and low tasks, and if it is not necessary, I will not intervene. I will give priority to your opinion. Irusa said. Having said this, Bai Ye also knew that Erza wanted to protect him. Bai Ye really didn't know how to refuse Erza's kindness. For a moment, he was stunned. Just then, ding dong, team mission triggered. Host can lead a teammate to participate in this commission. Commission completed, both parties can get corresponding rewards. A confidentiality agreement must be signed before the mission begins. What's wrong? Bai Ye, if you really don't want to, then forget it. Looking at Bai Ye frowning and thinking, Erza was also a little surprised. No, that's not what I mean. Erza, it's just that before we set off together, I need you to sign a confidentiality agreement to promise not to disclose all the commissions. If possible, we can go together. Bai Ye said solemnly. Aluza tilted her head in confusion, and she was curious. Protecting the client's information is the basic of a wizard. Okay, how do you want to sign it? Bai Ye stretched out his hand and held Erza's slender hand. Okay, the contract is established. Is it that simple? Aluza became more and more confused. Forget it. Let me take a look at the specific content of the commission. Bai Ye nodded and handed the commission to Erza. Dragon expulsion? Natsu will definitely be interested in dragon-related tasks. Forget it. Now Natsu and the president are still being criticized in the council. I will help him explore the way. As Erza said this, her eyebrows could not help but frown. However, the commission location is Cocoa West Village in the East Sea, a place I have never heard of. Is it overseas? Then we must go to the port first. No, there is no need to be so troublesome. Bai Ye smiled mysteriously and pulled Erza to the park near the guild. Without waiting for Erza to ask, Bai Ye clenched his fist. The next second, swoosh, the rainbow light bridge that penetrated the sky and the earth fell from the sky, and the bodies of Bai Ye and Erza instantly rushed into the sky. Post views, 1155 Fairy Tale. The Request of All Worlds. See you at the beginning, Chapter 010, Chapter 10, Erza's Shock. Nami's Despair. Please give me flowers, dusk, sunset. Sea beach. The scene, beautiful. At a certain moment. Boom! There was a loud noise in the sky. A brilliant rainbow bridge of light descended from the sky. The guild logo of Fairy Tale was imprinted on the golden beach. In the center of the logo, there stood two figures, a man and a woman. The man was wearing a tuxedo, showing his gentlemanly demeanor. The woman was wearing an armored short skirt, with her long crimson hair fluttering in the wind. At this moment, looking at the scene in front of her, the generous fairy queen was completely stunned. The whole person was deeply trapped in the extreme shock and could not extricate herself. They were in the forest near the guild just a second ago, but now, is this the lost magic in the legend, space teleportation? Bai Ye, is this also the magic you learned by chance? Irusa opened her beautiful eyes wide and looked at Bai Ye in disbelief. Ahem, let's just say so. Bai Ye did not comment. Are you really still Bai Ye? Irusa pursed her lips and asked solemnly. It was obvious that she just went out to accept a commission. The feeling of Bai Ye now is completely different from before. When Bai Ye first entered Fairy Tail, he was just a weak exorcist. But now not only does he have a golden light to protect his body, but he has also learned the legendary magic of space teleportation. Irusa couldn't help but wonder if someone had taken over Bai Ye and sneaked into Fairy Tail. I am who I am, as real as it can be. Bai Ye said seriously, there are many things I cannot explain at this stage, but I can guarantee that I have no ill will towards Fairy Tail. And Fairy Tail is already my destination. The four looked at each other. The atmosphere was quiet. Swish, the waves hit the rocks on the shore, splashing waves. I know, sorry, I was too worried, Alusa said apologetically. She saw a lot from Bai Ye's eyes. Besides, if they were not real partners, how could they easily expose these secrets? By the way, is this the Cocoa West village mentioned in the commission? Alusa looked around. No, but our client is on this island now. Bai Ye closed his eyes and sensed, and after a moment he took the lead and strode in a certain direction. The other side of the island, the ruins of the dilapidated ancient building. Clang the thick chains bound the two girls. One had short purple hair, and the other had short orange hair. They were famous pirates in the East China Sea. The little fox Irena and the little thief cat Nami. Nearly two over the years, they have joined forces and worked together to steal the money of countless pirates, and they have never been unsuccessful. However, if you often walk by the river, you will get your shoes wet. This time, they successfully turned over. Not only did they fail to steal the treasure of the treasure hunter Madtrega, but they were caught instead. Tell me, who of you wants to die first? The treasure hunter Madtrega spoke coldly. Hualala, the chain rushed out from his palm, ruthlessly whipping the two girls like a snake, splashing large pieces of blood. I will return the treasure to you, and all the money I have accumulated so far will also be given to you. So please let us go. The little fox Irena begged. Okay, but you have to come back before sunset, otherwise I will kill her. Treasure hunter Madtrega agreed to Kalina's request and loosened the chains on her body. Trust me, I will definitely come back. As the little fox Kalina said, she ran away without looking back. Time passed by bit. In the blink of an eye, it was sunset. It seems that your partner will not come back. She abandoned you. Treasure hunter Madtrega sneered. That woman is not my partner. Why don't we make a deal? All my treasures are buried on the west coast. Nami spoke calmly and chose to save herself. Half an hour later, Nami brought the treasure hunters to her treasure hiding place. Dig out her treasure chest from under the coconut tree. Open it. It was empty inside. All that was left was a taunting letter from Irena. At this moment, Nami felt an unprecedented despair. Being betrayed by her partner and not coming back would be fine. Anyway, if it were her, she would definitely choose to escape alone. But Irena even deprived her of her last hope. What a stupid guy. Totally played around by that woman. It's just a clown. It's a pity to kill him like this. The treasure hunters were all mocking and laughing. Compared to killing you directly, it's more satisfying to let you live with this painful memory. But treasure hunter Madtrega changed the subject. You can escape death, but you can't escape punishment. I should teach you a lesson. I'll beat you half to death. Swish, two chains rushed out from the palms of treasure hunter Madtrega's hands. Nami closed her eyes in despair, ready to face her tragic fate. However, the pain she imagined did not come. Gang, bang. This is the sound of the chain breaking. You are who is it? This is the angry voice of treasure hunter Madtrega. It's all right now. You must be the client this time, Miss Nami. A gentle voice came in Nami's ears. Nami opened her eyes and looked at the man in front of her blankly. Who are you? My name is Bai Ye, the wizard of Fairy Tail. I have accepted your commission this time to expel the evil dragon. Bai Ye. Post views 1052 Fairy Tail. The request of all worlds. See you at the beginning. Chapter 011. Chapter 11. Nami is shocked and excited. Erza's purgatory armor shows its power. Seeking flowers and comments, the setting sun sank into the sea level. The bright moonlight shone, and the sea surface sparkled. On the west coast of the deserted island, A tense atmosphere enveloped the whole place. The heroic female knight, with one sword, blocked the vicious treasure hunters, confident and full of energy. Bai Ye gentlemanly held the girl's arm and lifted Nami, who was immersed in shock and loss, from the ground. At this moment, looking at the prince, who appeared like a god and saved her from the water and fire, Nami was completely confused. No matter what, she could not have thought that the good things in the storybook would fall on her head one day. Being in a desperate situation and being rescued by a powerful prince has always been a script tailor-made for princesses. How could a little thief like her who struggled at the bottom of society encounter such a good thing? Nami's pretty face was full of confusion and disbelief, and she even wondered if this was a hallucination before her death. My name is Bai Ye, a wizard of fairy tale, and I'm here to defeat the dragon. Bai Ye's voice woke Nami up from her trance. Suddenly, Nami's head shuddered. She finally remembered. One night a few days ago, she couldn't sleep for the umpteenth time, thinking about the future of the village. She wondered if there was a second way besides paying the dragon 100 million berries to buy the village. Just then, a vague voice appeared in her head, asking her if she wanted to issue a commission. For a girl in a desperate situation, this was naturally something that didn't need to be considered too much. Nami issued the commission with the idea of giving it a try, and then fell into a deep sleep. When she woke up the next day, Nami couldn't help laughing when she thought about the commission. She just thought that she had a beautiful dream and didn't take it too seriously. After all, as long as she thought about it in her mind, a powerful being would come to take the order and help. It was too dreamy. Until now, looking at Bai Ye and Erza, who were descended from the sky. Listening to Bai Ye mentioning the commission of evil dragon extermination, Nami finally confirmed it. That night was not an illusion. Everything happened in reality. Somewhere, there was a godlike existence who pointed out a way for her who was in a desperate situation. Are you the messenger of God? Nami suppressed the shock and excitement in her heart and spoke tremblingly. No, we are the wizards of the Fairy Tale Guild who accepted your commission. Bai Ye said. Fairy tale. Nami whispered softly. Let's talk about the details after we solve the current trouble. Bai Ye turned around and looked at the treasure hunters. Wait, Bai Ye, this guy, it seems interesting. Leave it to me. Irena raised her hand to stop him, her beautiful eyes full of eagerness. Okay. Bai Ye nodded. As the S-class wizard of fairy tale, Fairy Queen Erza, it is easy for her to deal with a few treasure hunters. Although I don't know who you are, but since you want to meddle in other people's business, let's die together. Treasure hunter Mad Trega's eyes widened. Hualala, a cluster of fine iron chains rushed up from his palm. As he swung, it moved like a venomous snake. Finally, it shot towards Erza from a tricky angle. Change clothes, black feather armor. Bright magic light bloomed from Erza's body. Erza activated her proud magic knight. Black feather armor. Possession. The black feathers behind Erza vibrated, and her figure suddenly soared into the sky. Don't even think about escaping. The treasure hunter Mad Trega waved his hands. Chains chased Erza like poisonous snakes. I see. Is this magic that can freely control chains? It's quite a trick. Irena shifted her position while observing the abilities of the treasure hunters. At the same time, Erza's movement was not aimless. Instead, she tried to draw the treasure hunters' chains to her own people as much as possible. The final result was that the venomous snake chains failed to catch up with Erza, but instead locked up his subordinates tightly. Boss, you caught the wrong person. It's all because of that stinky woman. Running around like a fly. It's so annoying. The treasure hunters all screamed in shock and anger. It's so noisy. Treasure hunter Mad Trega shouted angrily. The next second, under Erza's shocked gaze, treasure hunter Mad Trega mercilessly swung his companions as meteor hammers. Bang! Erza, who was caught off guard, was hit by one of the human meteor hammers and fell from midair. Compared to the damage of the human meteor hammer, Erza's injuries were naturally minimal. But at this moment, the look on Erza's face was extremely gloomy. It was not because she was hit and fell from the air. It was because of what treasure hunter Mad Trega did. Aren't they your companions? Erza shouted in a deep voice. Partners? Ha 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 ha. Are you a rookie going out to sea on your first day? In this world where the strong prey on the weak, only the strong can control everything. Companions are just props. As long as you have money, you can have as many as you want. Treasure hunter Madariga laughed wantonly. These remarks just touched Erza's reverse scale. Even though they were far away, Bai Ye could feel Erza's angry aura at the moment. The treasure hunter who regarded his partners as consumable items, and Erza who regarded her partners as family. The two people's ideas conflicted fiercely. Ha ha ha, naive rookie. Next I will make you pay the price for angering me. While la la chains danced wildly between heaven and earth, treasure hunter Madtrega pushed the power of the superhuman chain fruit to the extreme. Dozens of chains rushed out from his whole body, intertwining and entangled in mid-air. Finally, they turned into armor and combined with his body, creating a chain giant more than 10 meters high. Go to hell. Treasure hunter Madtrega laughed wantonly. The chain giant fist hit Erza mercilessly. The strong wind blew Erza's long red hair. Faced with the fierce attack of the treasure hunter, she did not dodge or evade, and her face showed no sadness or joy. Change clothes, purgatory, armor. Erza uttered a number. The bright light covered her whole body. When the light converged, Erza's whole body was covered with black armor. Partners are not cheap consumable items, Erza said loudly. The pitch-black sawtooth sword swung violently, collided with the treasure hunter's chain fist. Crack, 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 crack. Under the heavy force of the purgatory armor, the chains around the treasure hunter Madtrega broke inch by inch. Boom! The chain giant collapsed. Boom! The treasure hunter Madtrega flew backwards and slammed heavily on the rock wall, embedding deeply into it. Treasure your friends, Irusa whispered and turned around. Post views, 972 Fairy Tale, The Request of All Worlds. See you at the beginning, Chapter 012, Chapter 12. Invade a long park and kill the evil dragon. Seeking flowers and comments. The dark night covered the sea. The dark clouds covered the stars and the moon, just like the girl's heart at the moment. It all started 7 years ago. The fisherman Along and his gang suddenly appeared in the East China Sea and occupied 20 villages, including Cocoa West Village. The cost of adults is 100,000 berries per month, and the cost of children is 50,000. My mother Belle Mel, when talking about the past, Nami's delicate body couldn't stop trembling. These secrets have been buried in her heart for 7 years, and she has never told anyone. It is clear that Along and his gang are the enemies who killed her adoptive mother, but she has to work under the hands of the enemy. She also thought about asking for help, but even the righteous Navy is in cahoots with Along and his gang. Who else can she ask for help? Desperate Nami had to bear everything alone and the future of the village. A person struggles at the bottom of society, living a life like dancing on the edge of a knife. This is not the first time she has encountered this, and it is definitely not the last time. It should have been like this. But right now, the situation has taken a turn for the better. No need to wait until the plot begins a year later. The gears of fate have already begun to turn. Because Bai Ye is here. We have learned the details. Your commission has been accepted by our fairy tale. You have worked hard enough. Let us take care of the extermination of the evil dragon. Bai Ye looked at Nami and nodded calmly and firmly. Please, Mr. Bai Ye, Ms. Erza, as long as we can drive away Arlong and his gang, I will do whatever I want. Nami's voice was filled with tears, and her pretty face with tears was full of hope, because she knew that this might be her only chance in this life. Nami, you are really a strong girl. Don't worry, your village will be saved. Irusa raised her hand and gently stroked Nami's hair. The sailboat that originally belonged to the treasure hunter rode the wind and waves and headed straight towards the direction of Kokoyasi village. 2 days later in the evening, a tiny black dot appeared in the sight of Bai Ye and the other two. Kokoyasi village, here we are. The treasure hunter's sailboat headed straight for the sea gate of a long park. Before getting close, splash, the sea water surged. A huge manatee broke out of the sea and blocked the fairy tale. That was the sea beast raised by Along and his group, the manatee Moo Moo. Nami was startled, Her pupils shrank suddenly, and she was about to warn him. The next second, Bai Ye put his index and middle fingers together and wrote the word captive in the air. Crack! A deep blue electric light flashed past. The manatee mooed in scorched black and sank into the sea under the power of the 5 Thunder Talisman. The treasure hunter was fully powered and drove straight to Along Park. 1 minute later, boom! The sea gate of Arlong Park burst open. At this moment, Arlong Park was brightly lit. The noisy noise of the fishmen reached the sky. The dragon pirates, led by the sawtooth shark Arlong, were still immersed in the carnival of the banquet. They had no idea that the sickle of the god of death was already above their heads, until that loud noise broke the noisy atmosphere of the banquet. Who? Which idiot is this? How dare you? Who is so bold? How dare you trespass into the base of our Arlong pirates? Where is Mu? Why didn't you stop and sink the ship outside the sea gate? Asshole, you dare to interrupt our party. No matter who you are dead today. The drunken fishmen spoke one after another and shouted. Arlong! On the deck, Nami took a deep breath, mustered up the courage to stand on the bow, and face the nightmare of many years. Nami? Am I seeing right? That's Nami. Boss along, that ship was driven by Nami. Hey, Nami, did you take the wrong medicine today? You actually did something like this. Do you know what the consequences will be? Today's incident can't be solved by simply apologizing. Looking at Nami on the bow, the fishmen of the evil dragon group first showed a look of surprise on their faces, and then sneered at the same time. In their eyes, Nami is their toy. Looking at the humans who hate them and want to resist, but are powerless to resist. They have to endure humiliation and work under them to make money for them. This gives them great satisfaction in their twisted psychology. Nami is not moved by the threats and intimidation of the fishmen. Her eyes were firm, and she stared at the leading dragon from beginning to end. Along, I've had enough of your long-term oppression of me and Cocoa West Village. From today on, I'm no longer your subordinate. Everything will end today. I won't let you do whatever you want. And the revenge for Belmere. Nami clenched her fists and turned the anger that had been suppressed in her heart for many years into a roar. Listening to Nami's declaration of war, the field was silent at first, and then a thunderous laugh broke out. Ha ha, did I hear you right? You are a weak human, and you want to take revenge on us. Hey, Nami, we can't just listen to this. Traitors will only die. Brother along, since Nami said so. Let's have some fun with her today. Killing Nami like this is too easy for her. How about killing everyone in this village in front of her? Good idea, I agree. That will be very interesting. The mocking laughter of the fish people contrasts with the girl's determination. Ha! Finally, the sawtooth shark Irena on the beach chair stood up. Nami, since you dare to say this, you must have found a backer, and you want to rely on them to deal with me. Irena's eyes were fixed on the treasure hunter. Let him come out. I want to see who you rely on today. I don't know if you can still be so arrogant when I throw his head in front of you. The fisherman Aaron sneered again and again. Brother Aaron, the logo of that ship is Treasure Hunter. It really has some means. The fisherman cadre, Gio, recognized the logo on the mast. Treasure Hunter, you really found an incredible backer, Nami. The fisherman Aaron clapped his hands and then suddenly changed the subject. I can't help but want to applaud your stupidity. Hey, Madtrega, are you sure you want to be our enemy for this little girl? It's not a wise choice to offend us for a human girl who has nothing. That's right. That's right. Treasure Hunter, I've heard of you. You shouldn't be so stupid. Compared to Nami, cooperating with us is a win-win situation. Now, you can join our party. If you want treasure, we have plenty. The fish people echoed one after another, and the smugness on their faces became even greater. In their opinion, today's battle will not be fought at all. They are all old hands on the sea, and there is no need to think about how to choose. What awaits Nami is only the hell-level abyss of despair. Of course, this is based on the premise that the people on the boat are really treasure hunters. Aluza, as we agreed, leave the rest to me. You stay here to protect Nami. Bai Ye spoke. I know. Aluza nodded, not worried. After seeing how Bai Ye killed the sea cow Moo Moo in 1 second, she would no longer worry about Bai Ye's battle, but would be more curious about how strong Bai Ye is now. Then let's get started. Dragon Beheading Operation. Post Views. 963 Fairy Tale. The Request of All Worlds. See you at the beginning. Chapter 013. Chapter 13. The fishmen are shocked. The mighty thunderbolt kills the evil dragon. Seeking flowers and comments. East China Sea. Cocoa West Village. Along Park. Treasure Hunter. Stop hiding. Come out and see. Sawtooth Shark Man Along shouted. Squeak. The cabin door opened. Bai Ye walked calmly to the bow and stood shoulder to shoulder with Nami. Thank you for your hard work. Leave the rest to me. Bai Ye patted Nami's shoulder. Mr. Bai Ye, Nami's beautiful big eyes were filled with mist. At this moment, when she saw Bai Ye beside her, all the haze in her heart disappeared. Bai Ye was like the sun that illuminated the night, just like her son. Aaron, something seems wrong. That man is not a treasure hunter. Krubi, the second in command of the Dragon Group, said in a deep voice. This ship undoubtedly belongs to the treasure hunter. Could it be that the treasure hunter was defeated by that human kid? The pupils of the Iron Cannon Fishman, Ju, shrank slightly. Kid, who are you? The Fishman Arlong asked in a deep voice. The one who killed you. Bai Ye bent his knees slightly and jumped off the bow. Ha 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 ha. The Fishman Arlong laughed, and all the fishmen in the park laughed. Kill me? Are you kidding? I'm just a weak human. We fishmen are naturally stronger than you humans. Although I don't know how you stole the treasure hunter's ship, it's absolutely impossible for you to. Merceman Aaron stopped talking before he finished. Under the horrified gaze of the fishman, Aaron's body was bent like a shrimp. His eyes bulged and almost jumped out of his sockets. The next second, there was only a bang. Under the slap of Bai Ye's palm, surrounded by golden light, the tall body of fishman Aaron spun uncontrollably and flew backwards. Boom! The wall of the main building of Aaron Park was pierced, and smoke and dust rose. This sudden change made all the fishmen present change their colors in horror. Ah, brother along. This kind of thing. How is it possible? How could it happen? Brother along was actually killed by a human who looked so weak the fishmen screamed in horror. Shut up. The second in command of the Dragon Group, Krubi, shouted. Brother along will not fall down like this. The Iron Cannon Fishman said in a deep voice. Sure enough, the next moment, there was a loud bang. The Fishman along was born like a wild dragon, holding a sawtooth sword to cut off the peak and return to the banquet hall. Damn human kid! The Fishman along's eyes were fixed stared at Bai Ye, his eyes full of malice and rage. He who came to the weakest East China Sea is the king of this sea area. In these years in the East China Sea, he no longer knows what it feels like to be injured. There can't be anyone stronger than me in this East China Sea. Who are you? The fishman Aaron shouted in shock and anger. The speed of Bai Ye's sudden attack just now made him unable to react at all. The power was so strong that he almost lost consciousness on the spot, despite his strong physical fitness. Are you scared? Bai Ye laughed sarcastically. When you oppressed and killed ordinary people wantonly, did you ever think of this ending today? Did you ever think that you would become someone else's prey? Scared? Ha ha, I am scared. Don't be ridiculous. How could I be afraid of a mere human like you? The fishman Aaron laughed. Despicable human, you can only hurt me by sneaking up on me, but now you have no chance. I will make you suffer 10 times no, 100 times. Go to hell. Swish the muscles in the arms of the fishman along swelled like a dragon. The sawtooth broadsword John Fong cut through the air and slashed towards Bai Ye mercilessly. Faced with Along's angry attack, Bai Ye's expression did not change at all. He did not dodge, but met the sharp sawtooth broadsword with his bare hands. Ha ha! It worked. You are really stupid. That's brother Along John Fong. Wait for being cut into. The excited and exciting cheers of the fishmen stopped just halfway. Instead, their faces were filled with extreme shock, horror, and disbelief. Dang! Dung dung dung! The sound of hammering iron exploded continuously in the field. That was Bai Ye's hands clashing with Along's sawtooth broadsword. One of them was a flesh and blood body, but the sound of metal clashing was heard. The reason for this phenomenon is that Bai Ye added the Vajra talisman to his hands on the basis of the Golden Light Curse. With the blessing of the Vajra talisman, the hardness of his hands was stronger than steel. Something is wrong. That human is weird. The expression of the Iron Cannon fishman changed drastically. Catch Nami and take her hostage. Kurobi locked his eyes on Nami at the bow of the ship. Then he and the Iron Cannon fishman jumped up together. Two officers rushed towards Nami, one on the left and one on the right. Shwa shwa, two stunning sword lights cut through the darkness. Puff blood splattered. The two fishermen officers, Kurobi and Ju, both screamed and flew backwards. Their bodies were almost cut in half. "Thank you, Ms. Erza." Nami bowed to thank him. "It is our duty to protect the client," Erza Flatjing said, and then his eyes fell on Bai Ye again, with a strange glow in his beautiful eyes. On the other side, Mr. Kurobi, Brother Gio, what would happen? Brother along, brother along. The fisherman screamed in horror and shock. "It's time to end." Bai Ye put his right index finger and middle finger together and wrote and carved quickly in the void. Click! The bright light of lightning illuminated the night. Endless dark clouds gathered from all directions. What kind of power is this? Feeling the fatal threat of death, the fishman along's face was no longer proud, but only horrified. At this moment, he unconsciously recalled the fear of being dominated by Vice Admiral Flash of the Navy 15 years ago. "Thunder is coming," Bai Ye whispered mercilessly, and his right hand swung down brazenly. Boom! Post views. 927 Fairy Tale. The Request of All Worlds. See you at the beginning, Chapter 014, Chapter 14. Flame of Death. Overlord Hockey. Devil Fruit Blind Box. Seeking Flowers Evaluation. Boom! The roar of thunder resounded through the sky. A huge column of thunder light, as thick as a bucket, fell from the sky and hit the fishman Eren. In an instant, all the activities of the fishman Eren stopped, whether it was action, speech, or life. Deep shock, fear, and disbelief solidified on his charred face. Until his death, Eren could not believe that one day he would be killed so easily by humans. Eren did not believe it, and the other fishmen could not believe that their big brother would be defeated and killed so quickly. This shocking scene made Eren Paradise fall into a deathly silence. All the fishmen widened their eyes and looked at Eren's charred body with disbelief. Snap! Bai Ye flicked his fingers. Along's charred body fell, shattered, and turned into slag on the ground. In the blink of an eye, the fish dragon that had oppressed Nami for many years was wiped out. Dead. Brother along brother is dead. Brother was killed by that human. Monster. That guy's a monster. Run. The fishman's shrill roars broke the silence in the field. Witness the captain's miserable defeat. The fishmen, who could only act tyrannically with the support of Along, suddenly scattered like monkeys when the tree fell. The fishmen no longer dared to have the slightest idea of resistance, and they all jumped into the sea without looking back. The sea is their territory. No matter how strong humans are, they can't chase them in the sea. This is a deep-rooted thought in the hearts of the fishmen. Under normal circumstances, this is indeed true. But the opponent they met today was Bai Ye. Things like electrocuting fish are forbidden in my original world, but Bai Ye whispered to himself, "If you are allowed to escape, the name of Fairy Tale will be disgraced." Swish! A series of talismans with electric arcs rushed out of the void. Boom! The brilliant thunder bombarded the sea. In an instant, this sea area flipped over countless large and small sea fish floating on the sea. At the same time, dozens of fishmen who were escaping were also electrocuted. The fishmen group that had ruled this sea area for 8 years and wantonly exploited the poor people has now perished. Nami held the railing tightly with both hands, staring at the end of the fishmen with wide eyes. Along is dead. All the fishmen who had oppressed them are dead. Belmal's revenge has been avenged. The village is free. At this moment, Cage the haze that had covered Nami's life for 7 years completely dissipated. The 7 years of grievances poured out at this moment. Nami, who had taken off her strong disguise, cried like a child. "It's all right now. Irusa gently embraced Nami and comforted her softly. Bang! Bang, bang, bang. Just then, a loud knock on the door sounded. Outside a long park, the fire was shining and people were in the shadows. That was the village representatives, led by the village police officer, Fengshe Aegean and Nami's sister Nokiko. After all, Kokoa West Village was such a small place, and the villagers naturally could not fail to notice the changes in a long park. Fengshe Aegean and others heard the screams of the fish people from distance. There is also Nami's name. How can the villagers sit still after learning that Nami is also involved? Although no one has said it, the people of Kokoa West Village all know it. They clearly know how much Nami has worked for them in the village. How can they let Nami bear everything alone? Even if they have to risk their lives today, they must protect Nami. This is the consensus of all the villagers headed by Fengshe Aegean. However, when the gate opened, they saw the messy and dilapidated Along Park. Police Officer Aegean, Noki Gao, and all the villagers were stunned. Nami, what happened here? Did Along and the others do anything to you? Are you injured? Police Officer Aegean, who always regarded Nami as his daughter, came to his senses and asked anxious questions one after another. Nami, it's all right, sister is here. Nokigo hugged the crying Nami and comforted her softly. I'm fine, sister, Mr. Kin. It's all over. Arlong and the others are dead. We are free. Nami whispered, It's good that you're fine. It's good that you're fine. Nokigo patted Nami's back, and then the whole person suddenly froze. What? Nami, you just said Arlong is dead? Is this true? Nokigo's voice unconsciously rose 8 degrees. Yes, it's over. Everything is thanks to Mr. Bai Ye and Miss Erza. Nami turned her head and looked at Bai Ye not far away, her eyes full of light. Bai Ye was unaware of the girl's infatuated eyes at this moment. At this moment, he was immersed in the surprise reward for completing the commission. Ding dong. Congratulations to the host for completing the commission, Evil Dragon Removal. Commission completion rating. Perfect. Rewards are as follows. 1. Flame of Death, King 2. Overlord Hockey, 3. Devil Fruit Blind Box, X1. Post Views, 992 Fairy Tale. The Request of All Worlds. See you at the beginning, Chapter 015, Chapter 15, Erza's Reward. Nami's Repayment. Seeking Flowers and Comments, Death Flame. A special flame from the world of tutors. This is a power born from the human body. Everyone is born with different attributes of flame, flow. The power of death flames of different attributes is also very different. For example, the power of the great sky attribute is to harmonize, and it is as inclusive as the sky. The power of the mist is to decompose. The rain is to calm. The thunder is to harden. The cloud is to proliferate, and the fog is to build. Finally, there is the clear attribute that Bai Ye obtained, and its power symbol is activity. It produces new cells and unstoppable speed, allowing the user to have high-speed self-healing ability. In short, it is the power of high-speed regeneration. And the clear attribute Death Flame that Bai Ye obtained is not only able to regenerate itself at a high speed. Transferring the death flame into the body of another person can also stimulate the cells of the injured person to divide and regenerate at a high speed, achieving a healing effect. Such a convenient and practical ability naturally surprised Bai Ye. In addition to King's attribute of Death Flame, the other 2 rewards for this commission are also exciting. Hawang Haki. This is one of the iconic rare skills in the pirate world. The King's qualification that can only be born in 1 million people. As a strong man galloping on the sea, you cannot use it, but you can't do without it. Hawang Haki represents a kind of style in a sense, although it has been lowered a little by Minggu and King Jiao. But cool is cool. What the domineering Haki thinks, just a glance, the whole audience bows down. This is the happiness that people without domineering Haki can't experience. The 3 admirals with the highest combat power in the Navy are quite impressive, but they don't have Conqueror Haki. Indeed, the basic Conqueror Haki can only clear the miscellaneous soldiers. However, Conqueror Haki can be advanced and grow. The top Conqueror Haki can have a substantial attack effect on the surrounding environment. In the future Wano Country event, the Four Emperors Red Hair Shanks released Conqueror Haki from 800 miles away. The Navy's highest combat power Admiral Greenbull was shocked to tears, raised his hands, and surrendered in embarrassment, and even couldn't maintain the elementalization. This shows the powerful suppression of the top Conqueror Haki on the battlefield of Strong. Although Bai Ye's Conqueror Haki is still only the basic version, but the future is promising. In addition to the Death Flame and Conqueror Haki, the last reward is the Devil Fruit Blind Box. Devil Fruit is also one of the specialties of the pirate world. The result of opening the blind box this time also gave Bai Ye a surprise, because the type of Devil Fruit opened from the blind box is natural type. Bai Ye, what's going on? Irusa's cry of shock and disbelief attracted Bai Ye. What's wrong? Erza, Bai Ye asked with a smile. Just now, a voice suddenly appeared in my head, congratulating me for completing the team commission and giving me a reward, saying that the attributes of the Sea King's armor have increased. I tried it, and the attributes of the Sea King's armor actually increased. This kind of thing. Erza's pretty face was full of disbelief. That's it. This is the reward you deserve for completing the commission together. Erza. Bai Ye smiled. Erza, complete the commission and get the reward. This kind of thing is most familiar to her. But in the past, the rewards she received were all physical objects such as money and armor. Never before, it was like today, directly improving all the attributes of the armor she holds. This is something that even the top armor and protective gear casting masters cannot do. It can even be said to be a miracle. And the congratulations in my head before Irusa took a deep breath to calm down her overheated head. Looking at Bai Ye walking away with his hands behind his back, Erza knew that all these strange things were related to Bai Ye. Bai Ye's rapid growth in a short period of time may also be related to this. This is Bai Ye's biggest secret. What should I worry about? Bai Ye shared his biggest secret with me. This is family. Irusa smiled and shook her head, no longer entangled. On the other side, under Nami's narration, Windmill Aegean, no Kigo, and the villagers of Koko West Village finally knew what happened. When they learned that the evil dragon that oppressed the village had been successfully repelled and killed by Bai Ye, Along's group was completely wiped out. The villagers were overjoyed and cheered excitedly. Many people even knelt on the ground and cried with joy. After the cheers, it was time to clean up the mess. The young and strong villagers led by Fengshe Aegean took action overnight to clean up the battlefield. On the other side, Bai Ye and Erza, the heroes who saved Kokoa West Village, were warmly entertained by the people led by no Kigo. The next day, a grand celebration banquet began. The banquet lasted from morning to night. Most of the villagers fell down drunk, and it came to a temporary end. In the evening, Bai Ye and Nami came to the orange orchard. A treasure chest was dug out from under the orange tree. Opened, a golden light shone brightly. Inside was Nami's savings over the years. Mr. Bai Ye, I really don't know how to repay you for your kindness. These treasures without waiting for Nami to finish. No need. I've already received my reward. Bai Ye smiled and shook his head. Right now, although there is no dragon's oppression, the situation in the village is still difficult. Just consider this as my efforts to improve everyone's life. Even though the villagers were poor, they still treated them with the highest etiquette. As a wizard of fairy tale, Bai Ye naturally had to return the favor. Mr. Bai Ye, Nami's beautiful eyes were filled with mist. After a moment, a firm look appeared on her face. It seemed that she had made some kind of determination. In that case, I can only repay you in another way. After that, Nami took a step forward and fell into Bai Ye's arms, with her toes slightly raised. The two pure ones met, and the atmosphere in the orange grove quickly heated up. Post views, 990 Fairy Tale, The Request of All Worlds. See you at the beginning, Chapter 016, Chapter 16. Natural Cloud Fruit. Natsu is excited. Seeking flower evaluation. The next day, the sky brightened. The bright morning glow fell. On the white bedsheet, a bright red spot caught people's attention. The girl with short orange hair rested her slender hand on her smooth chin with a pair of bright eyes. She stared at the person in front of her without blinking, as if she couldn't see enough. What are you looking at? Bai Ye smiled gently and gently stroked Nami's head with his big hand. My son. Nami smiled. Son, it's already dawn without knowing it. Bai Ye nodded. Hey, Mr. Bai Ye, are you leaving soon? Nami's raised little feet swayed back and forth. Yeah, Bai Ye nodded. Now that the commission has been completed, the time he can stay in this world has entered the countdown. This cannot be changed by his will. But the separation is temporary. I will come back again, for sure. Bai Ye solemnly promised. Well, I believe you. Nami nodded happily. Mr. Bai Ye, there should be some time before leaving. Well, what's wrong? Bai Ye asked. I think at noon. Cocoa West Village, backshore. The treasure hunter sailboat is ready to go, and Erza is conducting the final inspection before sailing. On the coast, Bai Ye took out a treasure chest from the system space and handed it to Nami. Nami opened the treasure chest, and when she saw the things inside, her pupils suddenly shrank. Devil fruit. In the treasure chest, a special fruit covered with cloud patterns lay quietly. The secret treasure of the sea. Devil fruits that can give you special powers after eating. Each devil fruit is worth more than 100 million, enough to buy the Cocoa West Village. Nami's pretty face was full of shock and surprise. Nami had done a detailed research on devil fruits. She had imagined picking up a fruit, gaining powerful power in one day, and defeating Eren and his gang. She also thought about auctioning the devil fruit she picked up, getting 100 million berries, and buying the village. However, devil fruits are hard to come by. It is harder to pick up a devil fruit than to win the lottery. This is the ability of the natural Yuekui fruit, and now it's yours. Bai Ye said, Really? Can I really accept such a valuable gift? Nami said in surprise, You have given me your most precious thing, which is a matter of course. In addition, there are some things here. Bai Ye handed the talismans prepared in advance to Nami and explained how to use them. You can study the use of these talismans slowly and eat the fruit first. Nami nodded with tears in her eyes. Then she took a bite of the cloud-patterned fruit without hesitation. Ugh, it's so disgusting. Although it was disgusting, Nami still swallowed it. The user of a natural cloud fruit was born. With natural abilities to protect herself, not many people in the East China Sea can hurt Nami. Even if she reaches the Grand Line, as long as she doesn't encounter a powerful and domineering person, she can protect herself. Goodbye, my Mr. Sun. I will wait for you. Nami waved goodbye with tears in her eyes, watching the treasure hunter go farther and farther. A quarter of an hour later, the treasure hunter left the coastal area of Cocoa West Village. Then let's go back to. Bai Ye raised his hand and waved. Boom! The rainbow bridge of light that reaches the sky and the earth descends. The treasure hunter sailboat is smashed into pieces. Carrying Byakuya and Erza, it instantly flies into the sky. At this moment, the world of fairy tale. Magnolia, the fairy tale guild, a scene of hustle and bustle. All because the problematic members of the guild have returned. Why, everyone, I'm back. The boy with the red hedgehog head put his hands on his hips, spitting fire from his mouth, and was in high spirits. Get out of the way. Don't block the way. The black-haired boy in an open-collar windbreaker kicked him aside. Gray, you bastard, do you still want to fight? Natsu was furious and rolled up his sleeves to fight. Let's fight. Who's afraid of who? Gray waved his hand, and his clothes disappeared instantly. The extremely cold air rose from his body. Burning Natsu clashed his fists, and a blazing flame was ignited. Oh, fight. Fight. As expected, it has to be Natsu and Gray. As soon as they came back, the whole guild was lively. This is fairy tale. Mikao, Wakaba, and other members of the fairy tale atmosphere group were all shouting to watch the fun. Well, Natsu Gray, calm down a bit. Don't forget the president's instructions. This time, it's because your fight affected the residence buildings that we were invited to the council for tea. The president is still reviewing it now. The little blue cat Happy smoothed things over. It's okay, Happy, this is the guild. Natsu grinned. Because it's a guild, it's okay even if it's destroyed. Gray said, generally speaking, the guild is the place that you can't destroy the most. Happy couldn't help but complain. No one can stop it anymore. Take it, Gray. Natsu said, roaring. Come on, Natsu. Gray showed no weakness and stepped forward to fight, seeing that a fight between dragons and tigers was about to happen. Just then, without any warning, a scarlet figure suddenly flashed over. You two stop it. Bang! Aluza clenched her fists and hit Natsu and Gray on the head with one hand each. The powerful force directly knocked the two to the ground, and even the entire guild was shocked. Seeing this, Maka, Owa Kaba, and other members of the Atmosphere group who were making a fuss were all startled, turned their heads away with guilt, and dared not speak again. Ah, welcome back. Erza, Bai Ye, how is the work of removing the evil dragon going? The white-haired, beautiful girl, Mirajane, smiled and asked. Thanks to Erza, it was finally completed successfully. Bai Ye it. No, without waiting for Erza to speak. On the ground, Natsu's ears moved after being knocked over, and then he suddenly jumped up and shouted excitedly. The dragon is gone? Erza, Bai Ye, did you encounter a dragon? Post views. 1033 Fairy Tale. The Request of All Worlds. See you at the beginning. Chapter 0, 17. Chapter 17. A blind date request from the Demon Slayer world. Seeking flower evaluation. Natsu Dragmeal. Natsu is known as Fire Dragon, one of the core figures of the Fairy Tale Guild. He uses the lost magic, Fire Dragon Slayer magic. He is the first generation of Dragon Slayer magician who was taught Dragon Slayer magic by Dragon himself. Growing up with the Fire Dragon King Igneal since childhood, he regards Igneal as his father. However, one day, more than 6 years ago, the mentor and foster father who raised him and taught him Dragon Slayer magic suddenly disappeared. Since then, Natsu has embarked on a journey to find his father. But nothing was found. In this era, creatures like dragons seem to have disappeared long ago. But Natsu did not give up. Over the years, he has been persistently going to various places where there are rumors about dragons, not missing any clues. Now, hearing Mirajane mention that Byakuya and Erza had just completed the task of expelling the dragon, Natsu, who was still seeing stars a second ago, was shocked and completely awake at this moment. Expelling the dragon. What is this task? Erza, Byakuya, have you encountered a dragon? Where is the dragon? Natsu asked excitedly. Don't worry, Natsu. This time the dragon, without waiting for Byakuya to explain. Erza, you are really too mean. You know I've been looking for a dragon, but it's a rare task related to a dragon, but you didn't wait for me. Maybe Igneal's whereabouts can be known from the dragon's mouth. Natsu shouted with some complaints. Natsu, you guy, listen to us first. Bang. Finally, under Erza's violent coercion, Natsu's excited and hot head finally calmed down. Listen, Natsu, the evil dragon we encountered this time is not a real dragon, but a fishman with the title of Evil Dragon who is causing trouble to the area, Erza explained. What? It turns out that it is not a real dragon. Why didn't you say it earlier? Natsu said. Did you give us a chance to speak? Erza couldn't help but punch Natsu again. Fishman, the little blue cat Happy, who has a special liking for fish, drooled as he imagined the image of a rare beast with a fish head. Well, since it's not a real dragon, forget it. Happy, get ready to go. This year's one is coming soon. We must hurry up. Natsu patted his cheek, regrouped, and went out to work. I won't lose to you, Natsu. Gray also picked up a commission at random and left in a hurry. They are really worthy of it. Bai Ye laughed. Speaking of which, Bai Ye, you just joined the guild this year. You probably don't know yet. Irusa suddenly spoke. What? Bai Ye was stunned. Is there something about Fairy Tale that he doesn't know? This year's S-Class Wizard examination is not far away. Natsu, Gray, Elfman, Kana, and others are all sprinting for this year's examination quota. Do you want to take on more tasks and rush for it? Irusa said. I see. Bai Ye nodded in understanding. Of course, he knew about Fairy Tale's annual S-Class examination. The S-Class examination that opened the plot line a year later was a major turning point for Fairy Tale. S-Class Wizard, forget it. After all, I'm just a newcomer. Bai Ye shrugged. Irusa, others don't know, but she knows it best. What kind of power does this newcomer Bai Ye have? Now he is fully qualified to compete with Natsu, Gray, and others for the S-rank position. Bai Ye, Can you come over and give me a hand? Mirajane's voice came from the guild's storage room. Coming. Bai Ye returned to his role as a receptionist and went to help. 3 nights later. Ding dong. You have a new commission waiting to be received. The mechanical prompt sound of the system suddenly sounded. After cleaning the bar, Bai Ye wiped his hands and came to the commission board. At a glance, he saw the unique commission. Bai Ye took the commission and began to check it. When he saw the specific content of the commission, the expression on Bai Ye's face couldn't help but become exciting. There was no other reason. It's all because this commission is too different. Commission level, D-level, commission content, blind date. I really want a little brother who is 180 centimeters tall, 140 centimeters heavy, with 8-pack abs, stronger than me, eats more than me, is gentle and considerate, doesn't dislike my cherry pink long hair, and can be liked by my parents, brothers, and sisters as my blind date. Commissioner. Mitsuri Kanroji Bai Ye. Girl, are you making a wish here? Height 180 centimeters, weight 140 centimeters, 8-pack abs, strong, just report my ID number. Bai Ye laughed and shook his head. He never thought that the commission from the Demon Slayer world was not to kill demons, but blind date. But commission is commission. As long as the client has a need, he will definitely do his best to satisfy it. Isn't it just a blind date? It's not like I haven't had one before in my previous life. Simple and simple. Low risk, high profit. There is no reason not to take this order. Post views. 970 Fairy Tale. The request of all worlds. See you at the beginning chapter 018 chapter 18. Capturing the heart of Kanroji Mitsuri. Seeking flowers evaluation. Demon Slayer. A Japanese-style bridge and flowing water. The girl in a pink kimono leaned against the railing of the boat, lonely and desolate. As expected, today's blind date ended in failure again. Before she even had time to say a word, the other party lied that something happened at home and left in a hurry. It was all because of her unusual cherry pink hair and her super strength stronger than men. Next time I go on a blind date, I will dye my hair black and hide my super strength a little. In this way, the chances of a successful blind date should increase a lot. Mitsuri Kanroji sighed and whispered to herself. Just then, why do you do such unnecessary things? A faint voice sounded from behind the girl. Why do you hide your strengths? Why do you want to be ordinary to cater to other people's ideas? Are you a different firework? Hearing this sudden voice, the Japanese-style girl with beautiful cherry pink hair, Mitsuri Kanroji, was stunned. Turning her head, she saw a handsome face. He was more handsome than anyone she had met so far. She was stunned for a moment, and her heart was beating wildly. I didn't mean to eavesdrop, but I think it's a pity that Miss Kanroji wants to hide her beauty. Bai Ye smiled slightly, and his smile was as warm as the spring breeze, blowing the girl's heartstrings. Sir, do you know me? Mitsuri Kanroji said in surprise. Excuse me, my name is Bai Ye, and I'm here for a blind date with Miss Kanroji. Bai Ye said in a gentlemanly manner. Bai Ye? Kanroji Mitsuri tilted her head in a daze. I felt unfamiliar with this name. I had never heard of it before. Besides, my mother didn't say there was a second blind date today. Well, forget it. This gentleman looks so handsome. Height 180, weight 140, well-proportioned. Simply perfect. The most important thing is that he doesn't reject my unusual hair color at all. Maybe we can try it. Bai Ye, mister, what did you mean by feeling pity before? Kanroji Mitsuri took a deep breath and asked with courage. I don't mean anything special. I just think Miss Mitsuri's hair is really beautiful. If she deliberately changes it to be lost in the crowd, it will only make the world lose a beautiful landscape. Bai Ye smiled. Listening to Bai Ye's praise, Ganlu Temple Mitsuri subconsciously raised her slender hand to cover her mouth. The originally dull and lonely eyes lit up. The first time. This is still the first time. The first time someone didn't point fingers at her because of her hair color point. For the first time, someone other than her family praised her unique hair color. And Kanroji Mitsuri could feel that Bai Ye's words were not just a pretense, but a compliment from the heart. At this moment, the girl's heartbeat gradually accelerated and fell. Mr. Bai Ye, I. Kanroji Mitsuri mustered up the courage to confess. However, the words were still not spoken when they came to her lips. Not only because of the girl's shyness and reserve, but also because of inferiority. Can a woman with strange strength like her, who no one wants, really be worthy of such a handsome and beautiful Bai Ye? What's wrong, Miss Mitsuri? Bai Ye asked with a smile. No, nothing. I want to say that it's almost time for dinner. If possible, Mr. Bai Ye, would you like to go to my small shop for a simple meal? Kanroji Mitsuri asked nervously. Thank you so much for the invitation. I'm a little hungry, but Bai Ye changed the subject, and the girl's surprise was raised again. Let's talk about it in advance. I'll probably eat a lot. What? This is it? It's no problem, because I eat a lot. Kanroji Mitsuri smiled brightly. Okay, let's go. About a quarter of an hour later, Bai Ye came to the bakery of the Kanroji family. Unlike the misery of other pillars, Kanroji Mitsuri can be said to be very happy. With both parents and 4 brothers and sisters, the family has never been harassed by ghosts. If it weren't for the innate supernatural power, Kanroji Mitsuri might have spent her life as an ordinary person. But the greater the ability, the greater the responsibility. There is often a certain connection between ability and responsibility. In order to find someone stronger than herself and fall in love with someone stronger than herself, Kanroji Mitsuri joined the Demon Slayer Corps. In a sense, she was guided by fate. I'm back. Kanroji Mitsuri opened the door with full energy. Mitsuri is back. Sister. Big sister. Welcome back, sister. Kanroji's parents and brothers and sisters all greeted her with laughter. Mitsuri, you are in a good mood today. Did you have a successful blind date? Kanroji's mother eagerly took her daughter's hand. Her eyes lit up. Every time she returned from a blind date in the past, Kanroji Mitsuri always looked depressed and hit hard. Only this time was different. Look at her daughter's cheerful face. Both Ganlu Temple's parents subconsciously thought that their daughter had finally succeeded this time. No, sorry, Dad, Mom. I messed up the blind date again. Ganlu Temple Mitsuri stuck out her tongue apologetically. Hearing this, Ganlu Temple's parents, they were all stunned, and then their faces showed worry. They failed again, but they were so excited. There must be something wrong when things are abnormal. Is it possible that their daughter has become mentally ill because of the repeated blows? It's okay. It's okay. Mitsuri, if you don't want to go on a blind date, you won't go on a blind date in the future. Dad can also make sure little Mitsuri is well fed and clothed. Ganlu Temple's father comforted. Yes, Mitsuri can live at home in peace in the future, and don't pay attention to those gossips outside. Ganlu Temple's mother agreed. Dad, Mom, I'm completely fine. In addition, I want to introduce someone to you. Come. Ganlu Temple Mitsuri smiled and made way. This is Mr. Bai Ye, who I hit it off with at first sight. So, please come in. Please come in. I'll go prepare the food now. The Kanroji couple took the children to the kitchen, leaving the space for the 2 young people. From Mitsuri's performance, it seems that she likes the young man named Bai Ye very much. The mother of Kanroji said, as long as Mitsuri likes it, I have no objection. But we don't know the identity of the young man. Judging from his clothes, he doesn't seem to be a local. He should be from a big city. I heard that the young men in big cities, if Mitsuri is deceived, parents all over the world are the same, always worrying about the happiness of their children. But soon, their worries were replaced by shock, because Bai Ye showed a huge appetite that was even greater than that of Kanroji Mitsuri. As the old saying goes, being able to eat is a blessing. How bad can a child who loves to eat be? At this moment, Bai Ye's favorability with the Ganlu Temple couple rose rapidly. The progress of the blind date mission is progressing rapidly. Post views. 926 Fairy Tale. The Request of All Worlds. See you at the beginning. Chapter 019. Chapter 19. Pure Sunfire. Devain Axirito. Seeking flowers and comments. Wow, so awesome, Mr. Bai Ye. You are really awesome. This is the first time I have met someone who can eat more than me. The eyes of Mitsuri Kanroji, who had already eaten so much, were sparkling, full of little stars of admiration. Bai Ye smiled and said nothing. If he were an ordinary person, he would definitely not be able to beat the foodie Mitsuri Kanroji. But as his strength increased, his life level also increased. especially the existence of the king attribute death flame, made his cell metabolism rate extraordinary. Now, Bai Ye can even convert food into pure energy, store it in his body, and burst it at a critical moment. Just like now. I lost. Mr. Bai Ye is so strong. Mitsuri Kanroji, who had never lost in an arm wrestling competition, tasted defeat for the first time in her life. But she was not depressed about this, but was very happy. Because everything about Bai Ye was just as she had wished for in her dream. It satisfied all her fantasies about the perfect blind date. Bai Ye was the prince charming sent by God to save her. Late at night, Bai Ye sat on the roof and waved to check the progress of the commission. Only on the first day, the task progress reached 70%. This commission was much easier than the previous two. It should be completed in a few days. The only question is what to do next. After the commission is completed, Bai Ye will leave after all. It is impossible to stay in this world forever and be the son-in-law of the Ganlu Temple family. Once he leaves, how will Ganlu Temple Mitsuri feel? She didn't seem to realize that Bai Ye came to have a blind date with her because of her commission. Although they had only spent one day together, Bai Ye had a good impression of this cheerful and lively girl and did not want to hurt her. Everything was just as Bai Ye expected. In just 3 days, Bai Ye used practical actions to increase the favorability of the Ganlu Temple family. The blind date commission task was completed, and the progress was 100%. Ding dong, the mechanical prompt sound of the system sounded. Congratulations to the host for perfectly completing the blind date commission of Ganlu Temple Mitsuri. Rewards: 1. Pure Yanyin 2. Divine Axe Rita Mini Bai Ye. It was obviously a super easy blind date commission. The final reward was so generous that it far exceeded his expectations. Pure Yanyin. This is a special fire skill from the world of Fox Spirit Matchmaker. The method taught to the Eastern Spirit Clan by the third young master of Ally Country, also known as the demon-killing Divine Fire. It is naturally able to restrain evil spirits, such as demons and ghosts. In addition to the pure Yanyin, another item reward also has an extraordinary origin. Divine Axe Rita originated from the world of the 7 deadly sins. It is a divine weapon of Escaner, the sin of pride, with the characteristics of filling and radiation. It can absorb and store the power of the sun and release it. But this mini, after summoning Divine Axe Rita to the world, Bai Ye finally understood the meaning of this mini. What he got was not the divine axe of Escaner. To be precise, it was a weakened version. The axe is 1 meter long. It looks like a very delicate one-handed axe. It is also much lighter than the real Divine Axe Rita. After all, the original one is so heavy that even Meliodas, the sin of wrath, can only drag it. Bai Ye held the Divine Axe Rita Mini in one hand, waited for a moment, and made a decision in his heart. Late at night, Bai Ye walked out of the room, come to the kitchen, and find Ganlu Temple couple who are preparing for tomorrow's business. Bai Ye, it's so late and you haven't rested yet. We are fine here. We will be ready soon. No need for help. Ganlu Temple's mother smiled gently, and the look she gave Bai Ye was exactly the expression of a mother-in-law looking at her son-in-law. Although Ganlu Temple's father didn't say much, he had already accepted Bai Ye's existence. Uncle, Aunt, I came here to say goodbye this time, Bai Ye said. The smiles on the faces of Ganlu Temple couple froze. The expressions on their faces were first stunned, then slightly angry, and finally all turned into a sigh. In fact, they had been prepared for this result. How could such an extraordinary person like Bai Ye stay in a small place like theirs forever? At least during the few days Bai Ye was here, his daughter was really happy. But what to do after this? Uncle, Aunt, I can guarantee that this is definitely not a farewell. I will be back in the near future, Bai Ye said firmly. Compared to the nonsensical commission of blind dates, demon slaying is the main theme of this world. Bai Ye believes that there will definitely be a time to come to the demon slayer world in the future. Even if not, he can still use points to exchange for cross-border opportunities. In addition, these things are my gifts to Mitsuri. Please pass them on. Bai Ye put down the box containing the Divine Axe Rita and various talismans. After speaking, Bai Ye turned around. jumped, and disappeared into the night. The deadline for forced departure from the Demon Slayer world is tomorrow morning. In this last bit of time, Bai Ye wants to do something. It's a rare opportunity to come to the Demon Slayer world, so of course I have to get in touch with the local specialty ghosts. It would be even better if I could meet the Demon King Muzan by chance. Bai Ye also wants to ask Muzan, what do you think of him? What do you think of life? Time passed. Night ended and dawn came. There was only a quarter of an hour left before sunrise. I don't know if it was luck or something, but Bai Ye didn't encounter a single ghost while wandering around all night. Not to mention Muzan and the 12 demon moons. He didn't even see an ordinary ghost. Just when Bai Ye thought that this time he was destined to return empty-handed. Bai Ye, who came to a new town, exclaimed in surprise, and then a smile rose at the corner of his mouth. What a coincidence! I can change a tragedy before leaving, so it's worth the trip. On the bridge in the town, the evil ghost and the Demon Slayer looked at each other. The two sides in the battle were the Demon Slayer Corps' Flower Column, Butterfly Kane, and Upper String Tudoma. Chapter 20, Butterfly Kane versus Upper String Niduma. Seeking Flowers Evaluation. Early in the morning, a beautiful young demon-slaying girl was walking through the streets and alleys. Her long black hair was draped over her shoulders, and her purple pupils were shining. She wore emerald green butterfly hairpins on both sides of her head and a colorful butterfly pattern haori. She held a peach-colored sun wheel sword with an orange four-leaf clover-shaped jaw and an emerald green handle. The words, "Evil Demon Destroyed," were written on the blade. The girl's name was Butterfly Kane, one of the 9 pillars of this generation of Demon Slayer Corps. Butterfly Kane looked up at the eastern horizon. The deep dark night was stained with a touch of fish belly white, indicating that dawn was approaching. The demons who feared the sun would only appear at night, so they could breathe a sigh of relief. Just when Butterfly Kane thought that she would spend the night safely, a terrible change suddenly occurred. When she passed the bridge in the center of the town, she saw the demon with its bloody mouth open, eating people. Without the slightest hesitation, a fierce battle was about to start. Then the winner was decided in just a few minutes. As one of the 9 pillars of this generation of the Demon Slayer Corps, Kane Kocho was as good as any man, with first-class martial arts and body movements. Especially her attainments in the flower-breathing technique were perfect. So far, countless demons have fallen in her hands. However, facing the demon in front of her, she was almost powerless to fight back. She was injured in the first encounter, in danger, and could be defeated at any time. The reason was nothing else, all because the opponent she met this time was too terrifying. The level of the demon she encountered today was completely different from the ordinary demons she had encountered before. He had white oak-like hair color, and the color of his irises was as brilliant as a rainbow. There were 2 characters on the iris of his left eye upper rank. There were also characters on the iris of his right eye too. These 3 characters represent his identity. Upper rank Tudoma, the second of the 12 demon moons' upper ranks. The second strongest demon created by Demon King Muzan Kibutsuji. The only demons stronger than him were upper rank 1 Kokushibo and Demon King Muzan. Facing such a strong enemy, even the pillar-level strongmen are no match at all. After all, the Demon Slayer Corps has never killed any upper rank in the past few hundred years. Even upper 6 cannot kill him, let alone the terrifying upper 2. Hey, you are such a lovely girl. Do you want to go back to the Eternal Paradise with me? As long as you promise, I won't kill you, and you will definitely be very happy there. Upper 2 Doma spoke with a gentle smile on his face, giving people the feeling of a sunny boy next door. You are really a sad man. You have no feelings. You don't know what emotions are. You're just like a walking corpse-like flesh, trying to find something, but unable to find anything. Kane Kocho endured the severe pain in her lungs and spoke calmly. Unbelievable. She was obviously the weaker party. She was obviously the one who was forced into a desperate situation and survived. But at this moment, her eyes looking at Doma were still full of pity. Listening to Kane Kocho's heart-touching words, feeling the pity in her eyes. The smile on Doma's face froze, because everything was just as Kane Kocho said. Swish! He casually waved the golden iron fan in his hand. Activate the unique Blood Demon Art. Blood Demon Art Crystal Princess. Crack, crack, crack. One after another, icemen condensed and appeared out of thin air, surrounding Butterfly Kane. The appearance of the little iceman was similar to Doma, and they could use the same Blood Demon arts as Doma himself. Duma Sigid. Since we can't be lovers, then the only way is for you and me to become one. A kind and lovely girl, like you must be delicious to eat. Doma grinned cruelly. With a wave of his hand, 5 little icemen attacked Butterfly Kane at the same time. Butterfly Kane endured the severe pain of her lungs and took a deep breath. Even though she was seriously injured, she didn't just sit there and wait for death. Flower breathing. Second form Mikoto. Swish, swish, swish. The arc-shaped slash was indiscriminately slashed in all directions, repelling the attacking little iceman. Flower breathing. 5 types of fruitless peony. Do. 9 consecutive stabs were concentrated on one of the little icemen. There was only a crisp sound. A little iceman was smashed on the spot. However, when Kocho Kane concentrated on attacking the little iceman, upper rank 2 Doma took the opportunity to launch an offensive. Blood Demon Art, Frigid White Princess. 2 ice lotuses in the form of girls appeared out of thin air, and they opened their mouths to spit out a large range of freezing air. In a flash, Koho Kane felt as if the blood in her body was about to freeze and could not flow normally. Blood Demon Art, Lotus Flower. The little iceman followed closely and launched the Blood Demon Art. Several ice vines with ice lotuses rushed out and bound Koho Kane tightly. What a pity, it's almost dawn, but you can't hold on any longer. Doma walked and smiled. But even if you really manage to hold on until dawn, you can't survive because your lungs have been frozen and riddled with holes. Now, even breathing is a torture. Kuho Kane didn't say anything. Even if she was destined to die, she would still shine her last glory. She endured the severe pain and was about to activate the ultimate form of flower breathing, the red eyes of the other shore. However, before she could activate it, the next second, there was a loud explosion in the sky. A golden figure surrounded by lightning suddenly fell from the sky. Post views. 919 Fairy Tale. The Request of All Worlds. See you at the beginning. Chapter 021. Chapter 21. Save Kane. Crush Doma with your bare hands. Ask for flowers and comments. Boom. The sky exploded. The brilliant light illuminated the darkness before dawn. It was a golden figure surrounded by lightning. It fell like a meteor, and the surging power caused a big hole in the ground. The lightning shock wave burst out, and silently, the auxiliary Iceman created by Doma disintegrated and dissipated. Even the body of upper rank 2 Doma flew backwards under this sudden shock wave. Is there another prey coming? Doma's eyes flashed with excitement. Even after witnessing this amazing appearance, there was still no fear on his face, because he was born without emotions. Born without knowing what fear is. The breath of thunder and lightning. Is it the thunder pillar? Looking at the jumping arc, the seriously injured flower pillar Kocho Kane subconsciously guessed. Just a second later, she shook her head again, denying her guess. Not to mention that there is no thunder pillar in this generation, even if it is really a thunder pillar that is proficient in the breathing of thunder. It is definitely impossible to cause such a terrifying scene. Although she was seriously injured, Kocho Kane's consciousness was still clear. Coupled with her natural excellent eyesight, she saw it clearly. The little Iceman who made her suffer was killed instantly. Even upper rank 2 Doma was forced to retreat. This was only because the man in front of her with dazzling golden light came. Are you a god? Looking at the white night with Buddha's light shining everywhere, Kocho Kane blurted out subconsciously. No, I'm just a wizard passing by. Bai Ye said lightly, raising his hand to support the shaky butterfly Kane. You are seriously injured. I'm a little rude. After that, Bai Ye's big hand reached out and fell on Butterfly Kane's murderous mouth. Even through the clothes, one can clearly feel the broad justice underneath. But at the moment, Bai Ye naturally has no idea of taking advantage. Everything is for treatment and saving people. Burning clusters of active flames rose from Bai Ye's big hands. That is the king attribute of the death flame. At this moment, it was stimulated by Bai Ye and passed into Butterfly Kane's body. Under the super active stimulation of the king flame, Butterfly Kane's frostbitten internal organs were quickly repaired. It didn't take long for Kocho Kane's pale face to become rosy again. Her body, which had been cold due to the cold air, was now warm and indescribably comfortable. That's it. Bai Ye nodded. In this way, the tragic future of the girl in front of him had been rewritten. Sparasi. It's really Sparasi. You seem to be very powerful. Are you also a pillar of the Demon Slayer Corps? My favorite, I like to eat strong people like you, because this will make me stronger. Doma couldn't help clapping his hands. His pale face was filled with excitement and excitement. Bai Ye also laughed. I was feeling regretful at first, but I didn't expect to meet you before I left. It's really so good. Time is limited. Let's make a quick decision next. Blood Demon Art, Frozen Cloud. Doma waved the golden double fan in his hand. In an instant, a large amount of ice crystals spread out. Like mist, it rushed towards Bai Ye. Be careful. Don't inhale the ice crystal air. That is the blood demon art of this evil ghost, which will cause irreversible damage to the human lungs. Kane Kocho reminded quickly. Not long ago, she accidentally inhaled air with ice crystals, causing her lungs to be almost necrotic. As Doma said before, even if she was left alone, she would not be able to survive. But at least she should use her last life to provide some information to Bai Ye. This was the subconscious thought of Kane Kocho. At this moment, she had not yet realized that the damage to her lungs had been healed by Bai Ye. Thank you for your concern, but it's okay. Bai Ye was fearless, and instead of retreating, he took the initiative to walk into the range of Doma's blood demon art. With the golden light spell protecting his body, the extremely cold, freezing air could not penetrate his body at all. What a stupid human being. Your friends have already reminded you, but you still don't learn your lesson. Doma shook his head and sighed, thinking that he had won. Bai Ye, who was willing to die, couldn't even get out of the range of the ice crystal mist. However, the next second, a large hand surrounded by golden light stretched out from the ice crystal mist. It grabbed Doma's neck like a chicken. Is this level of cold air considered freezing? It's far from it. Bai Ye said lightly. Puff. He exerted a little force with his big hand and easily grabbed Doma's neck. At the same time, the Five Thunders Law was activated. The powerful force of thunder and lightning was stimulated. In a short while, Doma's evil ghost body was charred and exuded an unpleasant burnt smell. Bai Ye threw the charred Doma away for dozens of meters with disdain, turned around, and walked towards the dazed Kocho Kane. At this moment, Kocho Kane was indeed stunned. She was immersed in the extreme shock and could not extricate herself. Never seen it before. Never heard of it before. There is such a powerful existence in this world. As a pillar of the Demon Slayer Corps, she is proficient in breathing techniques and can be said to be a top-level strongman in this world. However, faced with she had almost no power to fight back against Upper Rank 2. And now, the Upper Rank 2, which she was helpless against, was crushed by Bai Ye. This power, coupled with the golden light like a big Buddha, was undoubtedly the manifestation of the gods. The Lord God actually exists. The Lord God has finally come to eradicate the evil spirits for the world. Just as Kocho Kane was thinking so excitedly, suddenly, she caught a glimpse of the incident dozens of meters away from the corner of her eye. Under the extremely strong and masculine power of thunder, the charred body of Doma was madly wriggling and regenerating. Crack! A slight sound. The charred body cracked. A brand new Doma rushed out of it. Sir, it is an immortal demon. Only by cutting its neck with the sun blade, which contains the power of the sun, could it be completely killed. Kane Cuckoo was horrified and quickly threw her sun blade to Bai Ye. However, before Bai Ye took over, an ice vine rushed out from the side. It wrapped around Kane Cuckoo's sun blade and threw it hundreds of meters away. Although he didn't know what fear was, Doma knew a little about weighing the pros and cons. After the previous fight, He had already understood Bai Ye's strength. If he got the Sunblade, there might be a small chance to kill him. Doma would never let this happen. Time is really running out. I'll kill you in one go. Doma put his hands together and launched his most powerful move. Blood Demon Art, Mist, Ice Water Lily, Bodhisattva. Post Views, 877 Fairy Tale, The Request of All Worlds. See you at the beginning. Chapter 022. Chapter 22. Pure sun flame burns all demons and ghosts. Seeking flowers and evaluations. Blood Demon Art, Mist, Ice Water Lily, Bodhisattva. Upper rank 2 Doma put his hands together and launched his ultimate move. Boom! A huge ice statue of Bodhisattva rose from the ground, emitting an extremely powerful aura. Looking at the terrifying ice Bodhisattva, the face of the flower-style butterfly, Kane, turned pale. Her slender hands clenched subconsciously, and fear and despair unconsciously arose in her heart. It was not until this moment that she finally knew. Doma, who was fighting with her, was far from using his full strength. This is the true power of the upper-rank demons. Such a terrifying power is simply not something that humans can resist. However, if it was Bai Ye, who was as powerful as a god, maybe he could know. No need to defeat. Just delay a little longer. When dawn comes and the sun rises, everything will be solved. Thinking of this, Koho Kane couldn't help but feel hopeful. To be honest, this is the first time I've met a human as powerful as you. If time permits, I really want to play with you slowly, crush you to death bit by bit, and then eat you up. It will be very interesting. Doma said with a cruel smile. I'm the same. I don't have much time left. If I have enough time, I also want to see where the regeneration limit of you evil spirits is. Bai Ye said seriously. Bluffer. The smile on Doma's face froze. I thought that the appearance of the water lily Bodhisattva would be enough to shock Bai Ye. Unexpectedly, the other party was still as arrogant as ever. You are just a mere human. It seems that you have to experience the horror of the water lily Bodhisattva firsthand. Doma's eyes suddenly turned cold. The huge water lily Bodhisattva opened its mouth and spit out an extremely cold breath. Crack! The extremely cold breath instantly froze Bai Ye into a human-shaped ice sculpture. This is not over yet. Doma used his hand as a knife and chopped it down fiercely. As he moved, the huge water lily Bodhisattva also chopped down his hand knife synchronously. The power associated with a huge body can easily beat a person's flesh into a meat paste. Looking at this terrible scene, Butterfly Kane was pale. Before she screamed, something even more shocking happened in the next second. Crack! The human-shaped ice sculpture made a crackling sound under the heavy load. Cracks crisscrossed and spread rapidly. Finally, accompanied by a slight bang, Bai Ye broke through the ice, and golden light shone all over his body. He made a fist with his right hand and drew talismans with his right hand. Vajra talisman, several talismans were superimposed and immersed in his right fist, facing the hand knife of the water lily Bodhisattva head-on. Boom! Horror, that terrifying explosion sounded throughout the city. The battlefield ground continued to sink in the tremor. Endless smoke and dust rose up like a dragon. Crack, crack! The voice of being overwhelmed was loud again. Nani! Above the head of the water lily Bodhisattva, the pupils of upper rank 2 Doma suddenly shrank, as if he saw some extremely incredible picture. The next moment, there was only a loud bang. The smoke and dust in all directions were dispersed by the surging impact wind. Countless ice fragments fell like rain. Half of the body of the water lily Bodhisattva exploded, blasted on the spot by Bai Ye's punch. Are you really a human? This power is just like a god. Doma looked up at Bai Ye in the air and couldn't help but smile and sigh. Even though he witnessed the might of Bai Ye with his own eyes, Doma still did not show the slightest fear on his face. First, because he did not know what fear was. Second, because he firmly believed that he would not die. As long as his neck was not cut off by the sun blade and he was not exposed to the sun, no one could kill him, not even God. Bang! Bai Ye's heavy fist fell again, hitting the top of the water lily bodhisattva's head. Crack! Bang! The huge water lily bodhisattva exploded. I had a lot of fun today, but I don't have time. I'll continue next time. Doma smiled slightly and jumped lightly, falling towards the turbulent river. As long as he could enter the river, he had 100 ways to retreat safely. Next time? There will be no next time. Bai Ye similit sarjastijat. Burning the blazing flame burst out from his palm. It was not the dead flame of the king attribute, but pure Yangyin. Go! Bai Ye waved his hand casually. The pure Yangyin burst out suddenly, and then surged with the wind. In an instant, it surrounded upper rank 2 Doma. A shrill scream followed, and Doma, who did not know what fear was, felt fear for the first time in his life. Well, what kind of flame is this? My body is going to be destroyed under the demon-killing divine fire of the Fox demon world. All demons, ghosts, and monsters were completely destroyed. Upper String 2 was killed. Outside the battlefield, Kocho Kane looked at this shocking scene and whispered in a daze. After a moment, when she confirmed this exciting fact, the girl's face showed extreme excitement. God, Kocho Kane suddenly raised her head and wanted to thank and worship Bai Ye. Just then, swoosh, boom, a rainbow light bridge that reached the sky, and the earth fell from the sky, wrapping Bai Ye's body away and disappeared. The first rays of morning light broke through the darkness and brought light to the world. On the dilapidated street battlefield, the girl wearing a butterfly hairpin stared blankly ahead. I felt that everything I had experienced not long ago was like a dream, full of fantasy and unreality. Sister, the cute girl's call came, awakening Butterfly Kane from the extreme shock that she could not extricate herself from. Shinobu. The person who came was Butterfly Kane's sister Butterfly, Shinobu. Sister Kane, Butterfly Shinobu came quickly. Looking at the battlefield full of holes, she couldn't help but widen her eyes in shock. Sister, what happened here? Did you do it? Are there many evil spirits? Ah, yes. Evil spirits appeared here not long ago. Butterfly Kane nodded solemnly. What kind of scary ghost is it? Shinobu Kocho swallowed hard. The other party is upper rank 2. Kane Kocho said. What? Upper rank. Shinobu Kocho's voice could not help but rise more than an octave. At the same time, she was extremely grateful, even crying with joy. Great. It's really great. It's great that you are safe, sister. No. Shinobu, I'm going to die soon. Kane Kocho said. Shinobu Kocho was stunned. My sister's going to die post-views. 865 Fairy Tale. The Request of All Worlds. See you at the beginning, Chapter 023, Chapter 23. Shinobu, I, your sister, have met the god. Please give me flowers. Sister's going to die? How is this possible? Sister, why are you saying you're going to die? Don't scare me. Shinobu Kocho's beautiful eyes were filled with tears, and she quickly looked over her sister's body, trying to find the wound. My injury is in my lungs, Kane Kocho wanted to explain. However, she was stunned halfway through her words, because she suddenly realized it. The frostbite on her lungs seems to be healed. She was in agony because of the frostbite on her lungs not long ago. But now she doesn't feel anything at all. She felt warm all over, and her breathing was smoother than ever before. Suddenly, she had a shudder in her head. She recalled the beginning. Bai Ye had covered her murderous mouth with his big hand. Something warm then entered and filled her body. She should have noticed her improvement immediately. But because what happened next was too shocking, so she had no time to pay attention to her own changes. Sister, what's going on? Don't scare me. Shinobu Kuji was so anxious that she couldn't stop her tears from flowing. Ahem, sorry, Shinobu. I seem to be fine. I don't have to die. Kane Kuji scratched her head in confusion. Really, sister, don't joke with me like this. Shinobu Kuji threw herself into her sister's arms and burst into tears. I'm sorry, Shinobu. Sister herself is confused because what happened not long ago was too dreamy. Kane Kuji touched her sister's head. Sister, what happened? Shinobu Kocho asked with sobs. Shinobu, sister. I seem to have met the god, Kane Kocho said. When she spoke, there was light in her eyes, and her beautiful eyes were shining. Although she didn't even know what Bai Ye's name was, at this moment, her heart and mind were filled with Bai Ye's heroic figure. God? Sister, you are really confused. Shinobu Kocho looked at her sister with strange eyes. She couldn't help but reach out to test the temperature on Kane Kocho's forehead. She wanted to see if her sister had a fever, and her brain was confused. Sister, you are not talking nonsense. That adult is really like a god. Kane Kocho said with an intoxicated face. The upper-rank evil spirits, for hundreds of years, our Demon Slayer Corps has never had a precedent of killing them. I don't know how many powerful pillars of the past have died at the hands of the upper ranks. After actually fighting them, I know more clearly how terrifying the upper ranks are. Kane Kocho will the experience not long ago was told in detail. But even such a powerful upper rank was powerless in front of that adult. Even the huge ice bodhisattva was destroyed in an instant. Listening to the scene described by her sister of Bai Ye crushing the upper rank Naduma in an instant. Shinobu Kocho was stunned, as if she was listening to a storyteller. It was unreal. Okay, Shinobu, get up. We have to tell the Lord and everyone this good news quickly. The long-term hard war may come to an end in this era. If it is that adult, he will definitely be able to kill Muzan Kibutsuji. Kane Kocho helped her stunned sister Shinobu to get up, facing the morning sun, confident and energetic. At the same time, House of Kanroji Temple. Good morning, everyone. Mitsuri Kanroji pushed open the door with full energy. Good morning, sister. Several young boys and girls said in unison. Wow, what a nice smell. Mitsuri Kanroji came to the kitchen, smelling the smell. Really, you're already a grown-up girl. Don't be so timid. Kanroji's mother shook her head helplessly. Okay, Mom, then I'll go find Mr. Bai Ye first. Mitsuri Kanroji picked up 2 cherry cakes and trotted away. Wait, the Kanroji couple wanted to say something, but they didn't have time. Mr. Bai Ye, the girl's voice, as melodious as a lark, continued to ring, but there was no response. Hey, Dad, Mom, do you know where Mr. Bai Ye went? Kanlu Temple Mitsuri returned to the kitchen anxiously. Mitsuri, this is exactly what we were going to tell you. Kanlu Temple's mother took her daughter's hand. In fact, Mr. Bai Ye said goodbye to us last night. Maybe there was something urgent. Kanlu Temple's father spoke. Kanlu Temple Mitsuri was completely stunned. She felt her brain buzzing, and the world seemed to be collapsing. Ming thought she had finally found her home. It was so hard to meet her true love. But the separation came so suddenly. Plop! Tears flowed uncontrollably from Kanroji Mitsuri's eyes. Don't cry, Mitsuri. There's nothing we can do about it. The Kanroji couple tried to comfort her helplessly. Yes, I know. I knew it a long time ago. Kanroji Mitsuri just nodded sensibly. But she couldn't stop feeling sour in her heart. This is the one Bai Ye left for me. Yours, open it and have a look. The father of Ganlu Temple sighed and pushed the heavy box left by Bai Ye in front of his crying daughter. It took a long while. Miri Ganlu Temple finally opened the box. The first thing that caught her was the delicate golden one-handed axe. However, Miri Ganlu Temple's eyes did not stay on the one-handed axe for too long, but quickly picked up the letter beside her. When she saw the message on it, the girl's originally dim eyes suddenly brightened again. The big tears could not stop flowing again. But this time it was because of joy. Miri, the couple of Ganlu Temple looked at their daughter worriedly. Miri Ganlu Temple raised her hand and patted her pretty face. It's okay. It's all right now. I'll wait forever. She looked at the back of her right hand and saw the fairy tale logo that Bai Ye had drawn for her. He had asked Bai Ye what the logo meant. Now she knew. This is the logo of a partner, the logo of a family. As the saying goes, partners, no matter where they are, will eventually meet again. Post views, 900 Fairy Tale, the request of all worlds. See you at the beginning, chapter 024, chapter 24. The pillars meeting. The upper ranks gather. SOS request. Seeking flowers evaluation between the mountains, the Demon Slayer Corps headquarters. The sickly black-haired young man sat quietly on the edge of the house. He is Ubuyashiki Yoya, the current head of the Ubuyashiki clan, the current Demon Slayer Corps lord who is deeply loved by the team members, although he is only in his 20s. But he looks like an old man in his twilight years. His life is about to end, and he won't live for a few more years. This is the curse that the Ubuyashiki clan has passed down from generation to generation for thousands of years. Because the vicious demon King Muzan appeared in the family. The Ubuyashiki clan is also cursed. The descendants are weak and sick since childhood and are prone to early death. However, good and bad are interdependent. Along with the curse of early death comes the powerful power of prophecy and a leadership that penetrates people's hearts. With the power of prophecy, the successive heads of the Ubuyashiki clan have led the Demon Slayer Corps to avoid the killing again and again and survive for 1,000 years. The strong leadership of perceiving emotions and penetrating people's hearts has made the successive heads of the clan respected by all members of the Demon Slayer Corps. Amain, I can feel that something has happened. Ubuyashiki Kyoya spoke. As soon as the voice fell, Gaga Ga, the cry of the crow, came from far away. Is this sound Kane's crow? Ubuyashiki Kyoya identified the crow's owner by hearing. Yes, Master Kyoya. The young white-haired woman, Ubuyashiki Kyoya, nodded. Take the handwritten report letter of Kocho Kane from the crow's feet and hand it to Ubuyashiki Yoya. Wait until you see the big event written in Kocho Kane's report letter. Even a steady leader like Ubuyashiki Yoya was shocked to the point of being stunned. After a long moment of silence, Ubuyashiki Yoya's inner shock turned into joy and excitement, which was beyond words. Finally defeated the upper string? And it's the second upper string. Well, cough. 100 years of unchanged situation has now changed. Ubuyashiki Yoya whispered excitedly, and felt the hot blood in his body was excited. Do you know the meaning of this? Amain, destiny will begin to change dramatically, and this ripple will continue to spread, sweeping all directions and causing huge changes, and finally reaching that man. Muzan Kibutsuji, we will definitely defeat you in this generation. Master Yoya, the god mentioned by Kane in the letter, who is that? Do gods really exist? Ubuyashiki Amain's fair face was also full of shock and disbelief. The annihilation of upper string 2. The appearance of suspected god. One by one, all of them are like a fairy tale. I don't know either, but this must be some kind of sign. Let the pillars gather. With wings spread out, he invited the pillars of the Demon Slayer Corps to a meeting. At the same time, not just the Demon Slayer Corps. The death of upper rank 2 Doma was a huge shock to the demons. Even Muzan, who had always been indifferent to his subordinates, could not ignore this shocking fact. As the ancestor of demons, the source of everything, Muzan Kibutsuji has connections with all evil demons, especially the upper ranks blessed by his purest blood. However, Muzan usually does not pay too much attention to the affairs of his subordinates. Until the moment when Doma was about to be burned to death by Byakuya's pure Yang, Muzan finally felt something in his heart. In that last moment, he saw Byakuya's vague figure through the blazing flames. That figure made him unconsciously recall the man from 400 years ago. The man who shouted, "What do you think of life?" and almost killed him. At this moment, the demon base camp. This is another dimension. Infinite City. The fact that we were summoned here means an upper-rank demon was killed by a demon hunter. In upper 6, the twin demons, Daki and Jitaru, were shocked. Soon, Jitaru and Daki looked at each other and laughed at the same time. What a useless guy. He was killed by a demon hunter. This has not happened for hundreds of years. The ugly brother, Jitaru, laughed sinisterly. I wonder if it was Han Tengu or Gyokutsu who died. No matter which one, our ranking will rise this time, brother. The beautiful sister.
No more novels? Take part in the voting. The most requested novels and those with the most likes will be chosen for publication on euroaudiobooks.com. There, I can upload as much as I want without the risk of receiving a strike. Our 18 novels and other content that exceed what is morally acceptable are only published on Patreon or the free novels page. Remember, the site is funded by donations on Ko-fi and Patreon memberships.